It's not.
I agree with you, girl. You talk.
Okay, so hold on. But you only think someone's cooking when they agree with you, which is strange. So now I'm beginning to think that everything that I've been told and propagandized about Iran was a lie. But I was told the opposite until today and yesterday. I was told they were highly sophisticated. I was told they were well trained and well disciplinized. I was told that this was one of the armies that we had to fear, which is why we had to do, or
who told you that?
They did yet. What do you mean who told you that? It's been American propaganda on Iran for decades.
No one has nothing. No,
oh my God, last night it was the 16th strongest military in the world. It was the biggest thing. Now there's nothing. I can't do it. I can't do it.
This has all been about...
I've been told for years that these forces were trained.
No, you have not.
In America, we have been told that. Have you heard Lindsey Graham or John McCain talk about that? Lindsey Graham and John McCain. Have you heard that?
No. Hold on. You were told several things. You were told about the nuclear issue. You were told about rockets, the missiles, right? The ICBMs that they're developing. Yes, they are. They're developing them. They're developing them in mass numbers to be so that they can fire them at any, in Israel or any other country as they are now, right? And you were told about the proxies that they had trained in all these countries, right? You had Syria up until it was overthrown. You have Hezbollah in Lebanon, right? Extremely undisciplined force, but we're very well armed and supplied. That's different. Okay, and it is destabilizing the Lebanese government and their society. Okay.
Well, in some estimations, we've been sold the big bad boogeyman from the east. The first bombs were by the Bloody Bridge. The Brits bombed, sold it to the east. The guy had a musket and a camel shooting back. And now he's all of a sudden number one terrorist and number one boogeyman. And they did the same thing with the Shah of Iran, with the Ayatollah Khomeini 1 and 2 and 3, and all the Ayatollahs have been vilified. Ahmadinejad, number one most dangerous. And all that's just garbage. I know these guys. I know the garbage there on all the cars that's on the road. And I build estates for them and build buildings for the Iranians right here in America. And many of them, because some of them, they may be with the move on the regime, but most of them are not. And some of them are calling me now. See, Iranian could come to the mic and rock that mic. But when it's one of his relatives now, he want to stand with we the people. He wants some sympathy when the rocket strikes and his little baby, his niece is hit by some shrapnel from the bombshell, and now, she's hospitalized and will never be normal again. And the ones that they killed, the fatalities, she's not measuring a fatality. You don't have the command. Because you got a vision doesn't mean you have the right to destroy human life. And it hits the innocent human life as well as those that may be, that you're calling the enemy. We don't have that luxury. And that's some real talk for you right there. When you're going to take it here, you're going to send a different tune, but let's go in. And that's what's going on. And that's what these so-called sad niggas, that's for all of you. Then they will come for these niggas, those that are with me. And I'm saying to you that they gotta find a vilify the mentality. In order for the mentality to exist, they have to have a boogeyman and Osama bin Laden or Muammar Gaddafi and kill the family. Don't you know it's a violation of international law to go around bragging that you killed a head of state? But we never think about that because we own the testicles in the Kool-Aid. That's a total violation of international law to go after the president or his family. Just think if I turn down, I don't like Trump, and I take my forces go down, you'll say, oh, he's the worst president in the world. He killed Donald Trump. Or he killed one of these other presidents and went after their families. You can't see it until it hits home, is my point. You'll see it when it hits home. I believe it will come to eventually fight you in the ass for all the international violations from Obama Clinton, from Trump Reagan, and it's just some real handwritings on the wall. But you are too blind by the dust and the smoke and the bombs to see a 10,000-pound gorilla and a 10,000-pound pink elephant hanging upside down on your ceiling, and you are want to blame the victims and say, my. Some terrible things. Some
If the
terrible
pink
things.
elephant don't fit, you must have quit.
If the pink elephant don't fit, you must have quit. My.
Let me
My.
let me ask you a question.
Thank you,
Is there
Evan.
anyone here that is saying the regime is not intact? Does anyone believe that the regime is not intact as we speak? Has the regime changed? Is the regime gone?
I wouldn't say it's not only is it intact, they are responding to what's happening to them in real time.
Well, let's hear what Trent was maybe going to take a position in the middle. Go ahead, Trent.
Yeah, I'll take a position somewhere in the middle. I won't say it's not intact, but in shambles. When you don't know who's running the country, and obviously the communication, which I mean they have been decimated at the top. There is a lot of I don't know, is consternation the right word? Conjecture on who is running things and who is running what all over the country. So I would say it's in shambles.
Trent, did you see the article in the Wall Street Journal about the U.S.'s stockpiles and its depletion because of what?
Yeah, I said that earlier. Yep.
Oh, you did.
I said that earlier.
So what happens if there's depletion and this is still going on in 3 months? So basically, what you're saying is they need to get it done and just get it done. So that's why they're overwhelming. Is that the point you were kind of making? Like they need to get it done next?
Yeah, you gotta take out all the missile sites, and it will. And I said it will open up an opening for China if they want to take Taiwan, which I don't want to go on that divergence. But there is significant use of the anti-aircraft material that will deplete. So that's why you got to take out all the missile sites now.
Yeah, I've read this and I just pulled it back up. The U.S. has expended a lot of what they call magazine depth in these conflicts in the last year. It's actually been a lot. I know people were complaining about sending weapons to Ukraine, but it's a lot, bro. It's a lot. Anyway, who's next in the queue?
No, man, I did put a receipt in the chat, sir.
Wow, thank you. God blessings to you and yours. I hope you are having a nice Sunday.
Blessing likewise to you and your family. Thank you.
I appreciate it. I'm still, I don't know, man. I'm still, I have to say, listening and reading MAGAs and hearing them in here being against Ukraine, who was invaded, and is asking for help to defend their sovereignty. Like Trent said, Ukraine should surrender, but in this instance, y'all just be all over the place. I don't know where y'all got, so I have to be honest with you. It's totally insane, but that's a different discussion. But I'm just fascinated at what this would look like. So the idea is they'll take out the elite security forces, RGC being the main one, and then all the people will, there'll be some strike, but not much, and then they'll reinstall this guy who hasn't been in the country, because they're all monarchists, at least a significant or critical mass of them. And then they'll have elections. And someone said, because he wrote it down on a paper. It's almost like Ibrahim Traore said they would have elections. Let me see what he's done too. That's their discussion. Okay, so I look forward to it.
I didn't say Ukraine should surrender everything. I said that they should make a deal and surrender some of the territory that they've lost in the Donbass and Crimea, because they're likely not going to get it back without expending. Hola, mi amiga. Likely not going to get it back without.
Hola, mi nigga.
Mi amiga.
Hola, my nigga. What's happening?
Mi amiga.
Did you just say hola, my nigga?
My friend, he said. Mi amiga.
Did y'all hear that?
Stop trolling.
Yeah, I did. I definitely did.
He actually didn't say that. You don't know Spanish. He said, hello, my friend, you idiot.
Mi amiga.
Yeah.
I believe he was trolling.
No, my neighbor walked by and I said hello. So, but
Thank you.
I lost. I appreciate whoever said that. Yeah, no, I didn't say my neighbor. Anyway, I lost my train of thought, so I'll just be quiet because I can't remember what I was talking about now.
You're talking about the plan after the war, to how to stabilize the government.
Oh yeah.
He was talking.
No, I was talking about.
That's what he said. He said that Ukraine should give away some of the exactly.
Ukraine's. We've lost they've lost 300 to 400,000 soldiers and been fighting for 4 years. And so when I say that they
breaking news, on track, breaking news, looks like 11 are reported, still at least 11 missing from the strike on, how do you pronounce it? By Chamesh. It's like 11 still, by Chin, yeah. 11 missing still. So we know that 9 are dead. So maybe there could be more. All right, go ahead. That was the breaking news I just got. Go ahead.
So in the case of Ukraine, like it's a war of attrition. It would obviously take a lot of Ukrainian lives in order to try to free that. So I think that they should make a deal in order to save lives. That's where I'm coming from on that. My mom's calling me. I'll come right back.
All right, no problem.
Beit Shemesh means house of the sun. Beit is house.
Thank you for that, Noah.
This is interesting. I don't.
It is my humble pleasure.
Russia.
So Bethlehem is Beit Lechem. It is house of bread.
Which is pretty much Arabic.
No, it's Hebrew. Hebrew came
Beit
before Arabic.
James.
It came before. Hebrew comes before Arabic on the timeline.
Beit James, Beit Allah.
Yeah, they're similar. Arabic is very similar. If you know Hebrew, you can start to decipher Arabic.
He told you, Larry.
You don't know Hebrew, so how are you going to tell him?
Sure I do. You want to start praying? Let's do it now.
No, don't. And you don't
Oh,
know Hebrew.
That's a prayer. Thank you.
No, he's not. That's a prayer. That's not the language. He's not
That's
speaking.
scripted.
Oh,
Exactly.
Scripted.
Oh.
It's
That's
scripted. You
the
memorize.
Hebrew.
I studied songs in German, and I don't know what the
And
fuck
you know
I'm
what the
thinking.
funny thing? He
You want
said
another
he's
lesson?
done this before in another
Would you
room.
like another lesson? Would you like more lessons?
No, I don't want to listen to your nasty voice.
Baruch Shem Kavod Malachuto Leolam Vaed. Ve'achavta et Adonai Elohecha b'chol levacha v'chol nafshecha v'chol me'odecha v'chayu hadvarim ha'ela asher noti b'tzvocha hayom
No prayers. Once again, he's not speaking the language. He's saying a prayer.
Anybody want another lesson?
Norm, translate that in English, Norm.
Anybody want another lesson?
Yeah, translate it in English.
So,
Translate it in English.
okay, so the first, oh yes, I'll give it to you. So the first thing is I thank you. I'm sorry, you don't want to learn? Okay.
No.
I'll go learn with somebody who's a real Jew.
Nobody wants to learn.
You're a fake Jew, though.
You can stay ignorant. I can't. You know what? You can lead a horse to water, but you can't make
Shut
him.
up. I'm not a horse. I'm a
I
human hoe.
understand. Then stop acting like one.
Well, stop acting like a monkey, bitch. How about that?
I'm acting like a Jew, brother.
You're acting like a monkey.
No, I'm not. Listen, Black History Month is over. No more
You're acting
monkeys.
like a heathen.
Lord, say that in Hebrew.
No.
Black History Month. Say that in Hebrew. Say all that in Hebrew. Say everything you just said in Hebrew.
I'm
That
happy
Shalom
because
is
they get
burning.
talked over, and Hurricane said he didn't want to learn anymore.
Why
Say
would
that
I
in
want to learn
Hebrew.
your
Say that in
shit?
Hebrew,
I'm black.
Norm.
And I'm a
Will you say
Christian.
that in Hebrew?
Why would I want to learn that shit?
Because it's the basis of your religion.
Oh, you don't want to go there with me because we'll start talking about Jesus.
We're already there. We're too late for
So stay
that.
out of it. You don't want to go
We're
there.
already there. It's the basis of your religion, you know.
No, you don't want to go there with me.
I'm already there.
No,
Too
it's
late.
not the basis for shit. Go to
It's
hell.
the basis for
Shut up.
Christianity.
Shut up.
No.
Oh, go ahead.
Shut up.
Stick your fingers
Shut up.
in your ears. You see?
Shut up.
You see?
Shut up.
Somebody, I touched a nerve.
It's not the basis for shit.
Well, it's the basis for your religion.
No, it's not. Cause you
Oh no, you worship a Jew, my brother.
Oh, so now Jesus is. Thank you
100%.
for confessing the truth.
Of course, Jesus is a Jew, and you know it, and I know it. Blessings upon him.
And he wasn't a Zionist.
Well, of course he was. He was actually from Israel. You don't get more
he's
Zionist.
not a Zionist.
You don't get more Zionist than being from Israel.
Oh, so
You know
you're
what
not a
You
Zionist.
probably
then.
don't know what Zion means. Zion means Jerusalem. Who went to
Then you're
Jerusalem?
not a Zionist.
Of
Since
course
you're not
I
from
am.
Israel.
I didn't say
You're
I'm
not from Israel.
because I'm from New York. A
Yeah.
Zionist believes in the right of the Jewish people to live safely and securely in our homeland. I believe that. You should too. In fact, I think you probably do. The eternal capital of which is, wait for it, Jerusalem.
What other
If you
groups-
forget
so
me,
what other
let
groups
my
have that?
right man forget what.
What
to
other
do.
groups have that? What other groups have that?
Have what?
The right to like live in particular places based off of their ancestral biblical heritage or religious heritage.
Well, you mean based on their indigeneity?
Yeah.
Most people in the world. Almost everybody.
Then we
For
should all go
example-
back to Africa then, dumbass.
For example, a good point, 7 African countries have the right of return, as do the Jews. Yes. France, England, Ireland, Italy, all have the right of return. Poland has the right of return.
Okay.
Beg your pardon?
So the right
That's
of
your
return.
point, right?
No, it's not my point.
Oh,
So
what was your point?
who has the United? What is the United States?
The United States has a different set of laws. The United States will accept anybody who becomes a citizen.
I'm not talking about the laws. I'm talking
What are you
about
talking about?
rights that predate laws.
This right is a law. The right of
Oh, so
return
it's a
is a
political
law.
thing. It's a political thing.
It is man's law and God's law.
Right.
And I urge you not to violate either.
Okay, well, I don't care about God's
Well, it's definitely not
Okay, I do.
according to the book that you pointed
But this is-
to.
I do.
So Native Americans.
Maybe we should go back to Genesis,
Do
Hurricane.
Native Americans have a right to this land based on their God's law?
Yes, they deserve to stay here. Absolutely. There's no reason for them to leave. Absolutely.
Okay. So it was wrong for them to be genocided.
I'm not a supporter of what
Just asking.
happened when your people
Just
and
asking.
my people. I'm answering.
just
If you talk-
asking.
I'm trying to answer.
No, don't talk about my people. My people
Why not?
are from New Jersey. But just keep going.
Okay, and mine are from New York. And when our people fought the Indians, it was
My
a
people
tragedy.
didn't fight the Indians.
Of course they did.
No, they didn't.
You know your own history? Of course they did.
Which one of my people fought the Indians?
Your American ancestors and mine together fought
That
the
would be
Indians.
my people. Those
Of
ones.
course it is. Of course it
Yeah,
is.
that's not how I would not refer to my people. So again,
Sure.
so they have a right to the land. They have the right here,
Yes, they have a right to remain in America. 100%.
and they should have all. And so they shouldn't be on reservations and stuff. We should.
That's up to them. We can negotiate any deal they
Should we have
want.
done the reservation system?
I wasn't around then. I can't take your. I
Oh,
can
that's
take that one on.
fascinating. So you can
Okay,
make
good.
claims about Jesus. I love
Yes.
this. So when
Yes.
Jesus lived, were you around? I know you're old. Were you around when Jesus was around?
Not that old. Hurricane is that old.
So
but
you were
I'm not.
around? Were you around when Jesus was around?
No, I was born after that.
All right,
But
so,
Hurricane was there.
So you're allowed to make. So you're allowed to make points about Jesus.
Why not? Why not? He was a
This
Jew.
is what I'm saying. Let me finish.
Yeah. Yeah.
Even though you weren't around, but on
Yeah.
these other questions, your excuse is I wasn't around, so you don't have a comment.
I'm not informed on that. I could study it and get
that's
back
fair.
to
All right,
you.
we move on. Gotcha.
Okay,
cool.
fair enough.
Gotcha. So you're not fair. So you're not informed about your homeland. Or wait, which one is your homeland? Israel or America?
Both.
How can you have two homelands? Break it down.
That is what it is to be a Jew. You know what? By the way, you may consider part of Africa your homeland as well
Why
as
do you
America.
keep going to Africa? I don't know what.
Because I'm making an analogy between two people
It's
living in the
bad
diaspora.
analogy.
Masha,
You
your
know what-
homeland
you know what
is
a
going
diaspora
like
is?
a big
My homeland is
old mother.
Ukraine.
Do you know what a diaspora is, Dan?
I'm not from the diaspora. We were enslaved.
Yeah, the
Yeah,
diaspora is
that
the
means your life here is the
Palestinians
diaspora.
and
You are
No, it
outside your
doesn't.
homeland,
It doesn't.
and you
That's
have
that's not how I understand it. But let me just
Explain to me how you understand it.
Well, I don't know what my homeland is, because so unlike we're not able to.
We'll talk to
Long
Skip
Story
Gates.
mother's from
That
Poland.
doesn't
Talk
tell
to
you where
Skip
it's
Gates.
from. Skip Gates doesn't. He can't tell you that.
Sure he can.
No, he can't.
Watch his
You
theory.
cannot
Yes, he
pinpoint
can.
everybody's admixture and exactly where they came from. Let me just continue. So, let me just for people calling
We
Buffalo
all know-
soldiers.
we all
those
know
aren't-
where
I don't
we're
have any
from.
ancestors in the Buffalo Soldiers. All black people don't descend from Buffalo Soldiers. It was a
Never
very
said they
small
did.
unit. I'm talking about in the chat.
Mm.
Let's keep going. So, let me keep going. So,
Yeah.
every group has, if they had, that you believe in indigenous, so-called indigenous, right? So this is fascinating. So
Oh, good.
yeah, that's good. So what other? So this is true for every group, and it's based off of indigeneity.
I don't know every group to speak to every group, but the ones that we've discussed so far, I can say yes. There is a right, and by the way, it's a universal right that is recognized by the United Nations, that people have a right to indigeneity, absolutely, and to sovereignty in their indigenous homelands, absolutely.
No, you're
So the Native
lying. That
Americans have
England,
sovereignty in the United
England
States.
is not a right to return. You
Stop
cannot
saying
return
we're talking to
England.
ban. We're talking
You
to ban.
literally lied, dude.
Stop it. No, I didn't
You're
lie.
just talking
Yeah,
out your ass. You just
No, I'm not talking about. We're having a high-level conversation. There are two,
No,
two
you're
of
not.
us,
You're
and we
not
actually
having
went to
You're just
school.
a fucking bullshitter, dude.
We actually
You're
went
just a
to school.
bullshitter. You lied about
sorry,
England.
I'm
You do
sorry
not
you
have
didn't go
the
to
right
school,
to
Peter.
return to England. You do
Of
not.
course you do. I didn't
No,
go.
you don't.
I didn't.
No, you don't.
I beg
No, you
your
don't.
pardon?
Google it. Google it, dude.
Do
you know what Google is?
Oh my God! Now it's Google.
You're just a professional bullshitter,
People-
dude. You're
guys,
out your
people-
fucking
Oh, actually,
ass
it's
all the
incorrectional
fucking time.
cocaine.
Incorrect.
Oh, you
Seven
just talk
African
out your ass. You
countries.
don't know shit from your
Sorry,
dick.
7 African countries.
Wait a minute.
Italy,
England does
France.
not have a right to return.
I don't. I can't speak to England. I can
You
tell.
literally said
England.
that, though. You
I
said
can
that
speak
because
to
you talk out your
Spain.
fucking
Calm
ass,
down,
man.
calm
You don't
down,
know
calm
anything
down.
what you're talking about.
Calm
You're just a liar.
down. I know
You're
you're
just a
upset.
propagandist,
I know
man.
you're upset.
Wait,
England.
what's that? I can't hear you. Jeffrey Epstein's dick is in
Yes,
your mouth.
France.
How about you
No,
fucking...
Jeffrey Epstein is dead. That's your department now.
No,
Necro-
you had a date
necrophilia
with
is
him
your
until
specialty.
even June.
Necrophilia is your specialty, not mine. So,
Just
yes,
for
many
the
countries in the-
Any dead
One second.
Palestinian babies
countries-
is your
No, I
fucking
got a
dick.
question.
No, we kill terrorists.
No, babies aren't terrorists, dude.
I heard you.
No,
eat
they're
them.
not.
I heard you guys eat them. Though.
Wait a minute, time out.
Okay, so we done ban.
Norm,
Yes, I'm here, I'm
I got a real question for you because
Good. Is this Jazzy?
No, this is Brooklyn. I was
Okay,
in the
Brooklyn. What's
audience.
up? What's up?
And you said
Yeah.
Black History Month is over.
Yeah, it is.
No more monkey talk. What did you
That's
do?
right. What I meant was that I heard people calling black folks monkeys, and I was sick of it.
So what?
Any more questions?
Oh, you just outright racist.
Any
Okay.
more questions?
Good.
That's racist? I said no more. You want more?
You just see how he
Or-
treats the black Jews in his community. He treats them like
Yeah.
shit.
I daven with them.
No, you don't.
Yeah, I did.
Well, actually, you did it. You actually stole
No,
from
you
them.
don't, because I'm a black
dominate.
Jew and you hate
That's
me.
how I
You
feel.
don't nose up.
Actually, he did a fundraiser a couple years ago,
I
and they
don't
stole a
give a
lot of
fuck
money
about
from
you
some
more.
black
We
Jews.
don't.
He was
We don't like
actually
you either,
accused of that.
bitch.
What's that now?
Fuck you, bitch.
Why is that?
Toucan Sam looking motherfucker.
He was actually
Why?
accused of stealing from the black Jews.
Join their
Listen,
military
listen.
and fight for them. We're sick of you, bitch. That's why you gone.
Oh, you killed him.
You killed him.
And everybody look at my picture. This was in the Epstein files.
Ben, hello everyone.
Talk
Do we wanna
about
hear-
monkeys is over because it's motherfucking Black History Month's over. Bitch, shut your
Did
mayo
anybody
monkey ass up.
record that shit? That was
Yeah, shut
crazy.
your mayo monkey ass up, bitch.
That
Bleach
was
demon. You bleach
It's mayo
demon. How about
matzo.
that, bitch?
that was
like
crazy.
I said, take your ass to Israel and join their military and go fight for your country, bitch. I hope they
I have
blow
done
your
so.
ass out the sky.
I have done so. I have
You're a
done
fucking liar. You was never in the IOF. You fucking liar.
Excuse me, one at a time.
You're a
I hope
cocaine.
they fire you.
You're a cocaine.
And
One
I hope,
at a
bitch,
time. Respect the
I
mind.
hope your ass gets told the fuck up. I hope they get
Okay.
out your homeland.
You can hope
bitch.
whatever
How about
you
that?
want.
What you
Don't
gonna do?
like that.
You
And what you gonna do?
Well, actually, 3 years ago, he was accused of
Yeah.
stealing from a
And you
Jewish
mad about
community of black Jews because he was doing a
No,
fake
I just
fundraiser,
wanted to know-
and he
wait,
stole
hold on.
$75,000 from them.
Yes, exactly.
Well, I just
75.
want you to know that
Yes.
you went too far. That was
Okay.
just too much for her.
Okay. Okay.
You have
Okay.
definitely shown.
Everyone, look at my picture. El Norma was friends with
Okay,
Epstein.
Brooklyn.
That was
You should
far.
have been in
That
the
was
room.
way.
You should have been in the room when I
That was too far.
You should have been in the room when I had to that
Michael
concrete.
Jr. is always crying
You should have been.
anti-Semitic. Did you
Yeah.
say some shit like that?
I said no more calling black
No,
folks.
yeah,
monkeys.
I heard you. I just wanted to
Excellent.
make
So how
sure.
many 14-year-olds did you fuck with Epstein now, Norma?
I'm not into 14-year-olds.
Yeah, right. Then why you have pictures with Epstein for?
No, my sweet spot is actually 40.
Why did you have pictures with Epstein?
I don't.
Oh, did you hear
You're
that?
a liar. I have the picture right up right now.
He still likes
Maybe.
them younger. Y'all heard that, right? Okay.
Yeah, I heard it.
What's that?
You liked him about 7, I bet.
pedophile.
No, I like my
He also likes the foreskin. He also likes the foreskin, like his rabbi.
My freestyle is about 45.
You need to go to jail, Norm. Did you know that?
I don't.
You need to go to prison, and you don't
For
need to go to
Resistance, is that picture
adult
for
jail.
real?
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. He was exposed. He did a Ponzi scheme. This is what he was accused. He got terminated from his high school that he used to work for.
Yeah.
Tell him about that, Elnor Strudel. Tell him how you got terminated from the high school you was working for.
Enough. I got breaking news. So this is all right. Everybody got their yayas out. This is like what Bakhtin writes about on the carnival. You have to let the savages release it and let it out, and when they release it and let it out, all their transgressive energies are done, and then you can bring them back in and have order. So you have a moment of anti-structure, which actually reinforces structure. Shout out to Victor Turner and the cultural anthropologist from the 60s and 70s. But I'm done. Anyway, this is a report on Fox News. The guy had a Property of Allah shirt. This is the shooting in Austin. The T had Property of Allah on it. And underneath the shirt, he had another shirt with an Iranian flag.
What?
Shall I say it again? Let me say it again. The man had on a shirt, according to reports, that said Property of Allah on it. Are you familiar with Allah?
I saw the shirt online. It's everywhere.
Cool. Yes. And then there's reporting that underneath the shirt, his T-shirt had an Iran flag on it.
Mm-hmm. It's giving sleeper cell.
Let me say it again for everybody. This is the sister NG who tells us we should be celebrating because the war's won.
Mm-hmm.
3 Americans dead in America.
Mm-hmm.
3 dead in America. Not like over, God bless them. 3 dead in America. In her state, by the way. 14 or whatever number injured. He had on a shirt that said Property of Allah. According to reports, there may have been a Quran in the car. And under the shirt, he had another shirt. Some people call it a T-shirt, but you really shouldn't call it a T-shirt because a T-shirt is a particular kind of shirt in the shape of a T. There is also something called an A shirt. An A shirt is what some of you like to call a wife beater, but they're both kinds of undershirts. So what I want to say is an undershirt. An undershirt that had on it the flag of Iran.
Correct. 6 dead Americans now.
3 of whom in the United States.
Mm-hmm. I'm sure more is going to
come. Michael Notorious and Matt Cool and all the others and MG and the others who say it's all done. And Troy Michael and Trent.
Mm-hmm.
I was in Austin, Texas, Mars. Austin, Texas. At a bar. One mic on Trump making America safe on the homeland. If this is true, this is a full-on terrorist attack in response to 2 days ago.
Yeah. They said it is a terrorist attack. The FBI is treating it as such.
But let me say it again. It was an attack in a bar in Austin, Texas. Texas being a big state. Austin being the capital city of said state. They have a university there. The university is UT Austin. There was a man, a black Muslim from Senegal. And it's being reported. The FBI is investigating the mass shooting in Texas that killed 3 people and injured 14 others as an act of terrorism. Fox News' Harris Faulkner reported the outlet confirmed the shooter was a naturalized citizen from Senegal. So he was naturalized. He was a citizen.
More Islamic terror? I am shocked. I'm shocked.
Well, This is what happens. It's going to be more norm because of what they did in Iran.
Well, actually, it's American terrorism. Domestic terrorism. He's American.
They're not responsible for their Islamic terror? There was no
He's American. He's a domestic terrorist.
1 second. I'm not saying that. I'm saying that one can make a situation worse and you can't do a thing and not think and be prepared for consequences. I'm not saying the United States is responsible. You can do the sarcasm thing on the midwits. I'm not a midwit. Let me continue reading. Sources are telling Fox News that the shooter was wearing clothing that said Allah on it, and he had on an undershirt with an Iranian flag. There's a picture of him that's all over. You can see what he looks like. It says property of Allah. He was a 53-year-old man.
Dang, 53.
I think we agree.
This is what happens when you take out leaders. You create a hotbed of extremism.
Sadly, we had
That's what
Islamic
happens.
terror before the war.
It happened everywhere.
There's not going to be any real conversation, but it's unserious personal.
Exactly. He's a pedophile. El pedo.
Fair.
El pedo.
El pedo.
What do you have to- Oh, no. Oh, I see what you did. That's crazy. So let me clear this up for the dummies. Matt Cool and anybody else. I'm not saying it's the United States' fault. What I'm saying is meddling is doing the things that neo do, since you guys are all now neocons, helps to create situations whereby people pop off like this. There's going to be some boy who's 8 years old. You'll hear about him in about 11, 12 years. He's going to blow something up. So if these are the noble sacrifices that, what's his name said, Lindsey Graham says, fine. The other thing which is fascinating is how come the FBI didn't get him? So this is so that we have a terror attack on American soil. This is on the Trump administration. Trump is not keeping Americans safe.
Yeah, what was
We've
Castro?
had tons of Islamic terror attacks on Americans. So we had 9/11.
We have a lot of Jewish terrorism.
I know.
Jewish terrorism.
Again, but that was from the Saudis. The individuals they were mostly from Saudi Arabia, not exclusively mostly.
That's correct.
And Bush didn't keep Americans safe. Correct.
Our wonderful ally, Saudi Arabia.
This is all pattern
And
recognition.
it was Lucky Silverstein who put the $1 billion insurance thing on 9/11, and he just happened to not be there the one day.
Racism is a terrible disease,
The Jews.
Okay. You people, many people are going around calling the best. The terrorists are the leftists, and the terrorists. What they called Renee Good. They called Renee Good a terrorist.
I'm not sure that fits this conversation.
It does. It does. Because I've watered down what a terrorist is.
Was she Muslim?
It's
In
like
America, anything.
No, she was Jewish. She was an Israeli spy, like
wasn't
your mom.
Juggalos
Why
were
do you think
considered
Muslims
terrorists. I mean,
though?
America's perception of
Yeah,
terrorism.
it was the Jews that was watching 9/11, the Mossad agents, and they admitted to the FBI they were here to, videotape the
They were
attack.
standing on top of their van and recording it like
the
most
Jews,
of the world.
the Israeli Jews.
Yes, everybody I know who had a camera recorded it.
And
Were they all in the Mossad?
Why did they tell the FBI that they were here to record the actual event?
They were standing on the van recording it,
The
correct?
Jews,
Like
the
everybody
Israeli
was.
Mossad spies.
Everybody who had a camera recorded
All right,
it.
calm down. Jihad. Hey, what's up? Which leftists have sided with the jihadis? Break that. Just give us a couple names.
Well,
Mahmoud
historically,
Khalil.
that's how Iran was overthrown and the IRGC took power because the communists and leftists joined forces with the Islamists. And I'm just very surprised.
Now, I thought you meant today. You meant in 79 or today?
No, it's today as we speak.
Yeah, which leftists have joined forces with the
Oh,
jihadis?
you mean, the leftists have been protesting for the past 2 years that are pro-Hamas.
Like
those
whom?
leftists.
Because the Jews committing genocide.
Have you gotten out of the country and not been to any big cities? The ones that shut down the bridges?
Oh, I got it. So if you participated in like a Free Palestine protest, as they called it, you're siding with the jihadis, like the guy today that killed people. That's what you're saying.
Look. Stop gaslighting and be
I'm
honest.
asking.
No, be honest.
Resistance, you're off mute.
I'm
Resistance.
tired. I'm
Hold on, G. You're about to get booted again. I brought you up to ask you a question.
You're not being
I
honest.
brought you up to ask you a question.
If
So the people
anything, the
who were,
Austin terror
I brought you
attack
up to
shows
ask a question.
We have a jihadist problem. We have an Islamist problem.
So the people who were protesting on college campuses, for example, you're saying they are on the side of the guy. Let me ask the full question. There are other people listening, bro. Let me ask the question. You may know what I'm going to ask, but let me just get the question out for people listening. There's like 100 people in here. Calm down, man. Damn. 200 people in here. So are you saying that the people who who were, UCLA campus, Columbia, whatever, your junior and whatever, they're on the side of the guy who shot up the bar in Austin? Is that what you're saying?
To give a favorite quote of yours, they're good people on both sides, of course. But there's also plenty of bad people.
So
yes.
It's a yes or no question.
I'm answering your question. Yes.
Yes or no?
Yes. Yes.
Okay, cool. All right, thank you. That's it. That's all I was asking. I don't want to argue. Okay, who's next in the queue? I don't know why y'all think I want to argue. I'm just asking the question.
Yes, and many of those people are Jews. And many of those people are Jews, so they're terrorist Jews.
Hold on, resistance. Hold on. I'm trying to understand what you understand. I'm trying to. The reason why is, hold on, bro.
You're denying.
Hold on, because when you said leftist, hold on, man, you're ruining the space. When you said leftist, you didn't say the people protesting at first. You just said leftist. So if I'm a leftist and I didn't protest and I didn't go to protest, I want to know who you were talking about. You just gave me the specifics. That's all. Calm down.
All right.
I don't want to fight y'all.
But
I just want to fight. It's really annoying.
For 10 minutes about this Austin guy's being a consequence of our actions in Iran.
It is.
And I completely disagree with that. It's not a consequence of anything. It's actually the objective of the Islamists and the jihadists. It's the objective.
Israeli propaganda.
It's a symptom of the disease of jihadism.
Again, so these things are not like isolated. I could agree with you all that there is an issue. It's in the Sahel, it's in West Africa, it's in the Middle East. I agree with you. I'm not disagreeing with that either. But what I'm saying is that we have to expect consequences, especially in the midst of a hot war. That's all. I don't know why y'all think it's not a one-sided. Why do I have to be cut off? I'm trying to run a cool space with everybody chill, and I'm letting people say, why can't I get mine out, G.I.?
Look, you're right. It is a consequence.
Can I just finish my point?
It's coming anyway, whether you like it or not. We want to stop it sooner than later.
Never mind.
Let's just kill all the Muslims. Is that what you want? Let's just round them up and kill them.
Don't ask that question. Not to them.
No, I want to know.
You know what their answer will be.
And where
I want them to
know how you feel.
You want and I want is no more jihad.
How are we solving anything?
We don't want no more Jewish supremacy.
We're not supreme.
And Jewish terrorism.
It's white supremacy.
No more Jewish terrorism.
Give me a second. Hey, give me a second. Ben, did we have a chance to listen to Oman's foreign minister on Face the Nation? Maybe that could be a reset. This happened before the war started on February 28, 27. He seems to have came to United States on Face of Nation. Oman was doing the mediation, right? So the guy is familiar with the state of negotiations, and it could be a good reason.
This is before Iran attacked Oman yesterday, correct? Explain that one.
This is also before United States and Israel.
Just play it, man.
No, before Iran attacked Oman, Bahrain, Saudi, Abu Dhabi, Dubai, Kuwait, Jordan.
No. Shut up, bro. They were attacked and then they attacked. I mean, it's so bizarre. You're not saying anything. They were attacked. They were attacked first. And so they responded in the way they said they were going to respond. We know, Norm, we're all following the news. You don't have any inside information. You might have an old friend who you had coffee with at the Times, but we all saw it. Can you just play it?
I'm pointing out that the jihadists attacked their own Arab Muslim brothers on
They're not their
Ramadan.
brothers. They're not
They're Muslim.
Quiet.
They're Muslim. They attacked
Miriam, just stay on mute. Let him play the clip. You got one mic on me. You guys are assholes. The boy is going to play the clip. You can respond to the clip after. You guys are really being assholes. I'm gonna be honest with you. Just let the boy play the clip. Damn. Go ahead, play the clip.
I need a second.
The boy is playing the clip.
Come on, man.
Jeffrey Epstein would say that.
Come on, what's going on?
Don't let him get you out, man. Calm down, man.
Oh no, I'm calm. Believe me, I'm calm. This is part of my. I'm a master of tones. But it is kind of weird. Like, can we, like, especially when like serious stuff is happening, could we put the like pre-serious stuff, banging and ignorance and insults to the side for like a couple of hours at least? Is that impossible?
Well, you brought resistance up here.
Y'all go into Gary Baumgarten's room and respect it. Why don't y'all respect Patty's room like y'all do? You know, because he shuts the chat off. Maybe that's what it is. Doesn't let people on stage.
And he doesn't put up with the
Gary
bullshit.
Baumgarten and him and them 4 people say the same shit. They've been saying the same shit for 5 years. When I have a problem going to sleep, take a midday nap, I go listen to Barry Baumgarten's room. Go ahead, you got the clip?
And joining me now is the Foreign Minister of Oman, Badr al-Usaidi, who is the mediator negotiating a nuclear deal between the United States and Iran. Welcome to Face the Nation.
Thank you.
So President Trump said Friday he's not happy with the way talks are going and not happy that they're not willing to give us what we have to have. From your point of view, is diplomacy failing?
I am confident, and in my assessment of the way the talks are going, I think there is really, I can see that the peace deal is within our reach.
A peace deal?
Yes, it is within our reach if we just allow diplomacy the space it needs to get there. Because I don't think any alternative to diplomacy is going to solve this problem.
When you say space, does that mean you are asking for more time to continue negotiations?
I'm asking to continue this process because we have already achieved quite a substantial progress in the direction of a deal. And the heart of this deal is very important, and I think we have captured that heart.
When you say the heart of the deal, Iran has said this has to be nuclear only. What have you actually agreed upon? Can you give us any sense of why there should be more time?
Because if the ultimate objective is to ensure forever that Iran cannot have a nuclear bomb, I think we have cracked that problem through these negotiations by agreeing a very important breakthrough that has never been achieved any time before. And I think if we can capture that and build on it, I think a deal is within our reach.
What has Iran agreed to you that they have never done before? Can you give us any sense?
The single most important achievement, I believe, is the agreement that Iran will never ever have a nuclear material that will create a bomb. And this is, I think, a big achievement. This is something that is not in the old deal that was negotiated during President Obama's time. This is something completely new. It really makes the enrichment argument less relevant because now we are talking about zero stockpiling. And that is very, very important because if you cannot stockpile material that is enriched, then there is no way you can actually create a bomb, whether you are rich or not rich. And I think this is really something that has been missed a lot by the media, and I want to clarify that from the standpoint of a mediator.
So explain that. So the enriched material, the things that could be used as nuclear fuel for a bomb, you're saying Iran would not keep on their own soil?
They would give it up.
They would give it up?
They will not be able to actually accumulate that material that will enable them to create a bomb. There's no accumulation, so there will be zero accumulation, zero stockpiling, and full verification. That is also equally important achievement, I think, a full and comprehensive verification by the IAEA, which is the agency in charge of this trial.
The UN nuclear watchdog. So you're saying all enriched material would be shipped someplace else, not Russia, but
the current stockpiles that still exist.
The things that are still in Iran.
I think that there is agreement now that this will be downblended to the lowest level possible, to a neutral level, a natural level, which means and converted into fuel, and that fuel will be irreversible.
That would be significant if Iran
It is very significant, and I think we have agreement on that, in my view.
In your view?
Yes.
Because today, CBS confirmed a confidential report from the IAEA says inspectors report seeing Iran conducting regular activity at bombed uranium enrichment sites, but Iran has refused to tell us what has happened to their stockpile. They have refused to allow UN inspectors in to look at it. Are you telling me that inspectors would be given access to these sites, like at Isfahan?
If there is a deal, an agreed deal, they will be full access.
Iran has offered that?
Yes.
So who would these inspectors be? It would be UN? IAEA?
IAEA. But I think, there is room also, if there is a deal in place, I am quite confident from my point of view that even United States inspectors will have access at some point in the process if we have a deal that is respected and fair and endurable. I see no reason why there is no access to be given even to the United States itself.
So this was 5 minutes. The whole thing is 20 minutes. Do we want to discuss?
I think this is really terrific. We've learned a lot from this. Number one, we've learned that they do indeed have nuclear stockpiles. In case any of you were wondering about that, they've just admitted it. Number two, we've also heard that they refuse to discuss the other two big issues which Trump laid out. Number one, ballistic missiles, which Trump said they refuse to discuss, and this man confirms that this is not on offer or part of the deal. And number two, to stop sponsoring terror through proxies. So you can see our casus belli, or cause of war, is justified just from this excellent interview you played, Neo, from the excellent Omani ambassador or diplomat. By the way, the Omanis are wonderful people, and it's baffling to me that the Iranian terror regime attacked Oman yesterday, as well as their other Muslim brothers, on Ramadan. It's just mind-bogglingly evil. Go ahead, anybody else?
So, Neil, when you talk about neoliberal, why'd you bring it up, bro? The rhetoric is in the grandstanding, bro. This is not a speech in the Knesset. Calm down, Norm. I must to hear all that.
Well, I've never been invited to the
how's this belly? I've full of fucking fuckatash. Come on, man, just talk like a regular
Hey,
person.
listen, man, I lost it.
Come on, Norm,
You want to mock my speeches? I can mock yours.
Why did you turn into this guy?
You want me to mock you? I can mock you.
It's the
cocaine
abuse.
You gonna call me a nigger again like you've done before?
Never have in my life, and you know it. Never would. Never in my life.
God, yeah, you have.
Never in my life have I uttered that word, you know.
You have.
You're now lying before God.
He has done it before. He did it in other rooms, and he's addicted to synthetic cocaine.
You're a liar, sir. You're a liar, sir.
What, like bath salts?
Like Norm, just let the room focus on something else rather than you.
Don't say Norm. We're discussing. Let's discuss.
Go ahead, Neil.
Okay, you made your submission. Can you let other
I
people
was
speak?
talking to Dan. You don't have to put your nose in the middle, Neo.
Go ahead, Neil. I mean, that's also a guy who suggested couldn't speak English.
Yes, that's correct. Yes, I did. I mocked him the way you just mocked me. So you get your own medicine.
Wait, you mocked him.
So I get his medicine? Why do I get his medicine?
It's good enough for you, Ben, and it's good enough for me.
That's how they talk.
That is the Jewish methodology. That's how they think, the Jew.
Look, you lied about the N-word because you had nothing else but lies in your quiver.
This is how Zionists argue.
The Jew says all the Goyim must pay.
How do we argue?
You attack first, and then the other person attacks, then you act like the fucking victim.
It was stunning.
I was attacked.
Go ahead. Just like you just said, no more monkeys on Black History Month. Also very disgusting. And it took Brooklyn asking you to explain it, for you to explain it, and you came with a bullshit explanation.
And I did.
Go ahead, neoliberal.
And that's coming from a caveman Jew.
That was gross too.
Explain.
That was also gross.
Please don't.
It's not Black History Month, no more monkeys.
Please don't.
Yes, no more call.
That's not what you said. You said no more monkeys. Go ahead.
Exactly.
No. Okay, mute up. Okay. So I brought it up to just, I think the Omani negotiator speaks to the state of the negotiation. I think it is not covered because the fact that Trump could have had better deal than Obama on the table, right? That thing seems to be missed from the media coverage, at least outside of this interview. I haven't heard it elsewhere, right? So the Omani negotiator said nothing about ballistic missiles program.
That's the problem.
Well, not saying anything doesn't mean there couldn't, first of all, there is 15 minutes. We want to hear the rest of it. Maybe he says something about it. He didn't say they don't want to do it. He didn't say anything on the topic.
That's because it's not what they agreed to.
No, shut the fuck up, bro.
Oh, God.
Shut up. The interviewer asked, what did they agree to? The excellent Omani foreign representatives answered what they agreed to, and in so doing, admitted what Trump charged them with, which was having a nuclear stockpile that was not for civilian use. I mean, it's a very revealing interview. I'm glad you played it. The ballistic missiles and the terror proxies were not offered.
That interview does not prove any of that. One person
Is neoliberal done, guys? Has he finished his explanation?
He's been done since he began speaking. He doesn't know what he's fucking talking about. He's just a propagandist.
Listen to the nuclear stockpile.
Well, he's actually not done because he has a big bag of that synthetic cocaine.
Did we learn about the nuclear stockpiles from the Omani negotiator? What did Trump bomb? I'm sorry. Did we just discover that Iran has nuclear stockpiles?
Tom and Isfahan.
Did we need to Omani negotiator to confirm that they have nuclear stockpiles? Is that news to anybody?
I think it's wonderful confirmation that you offered, and I appreciate it.
I'm sorry, you didn't know, you needed Omani negotiator to confirm that they have nuclear stockpiles?
To those of you who did not know that Iran was trying to make
Who didn't know? Did you, was that a new information that they have nuclear stockpiles?
Earlier, people claimed that this was like Bush saying that Iraq had weapons of mass destruction. We've just heard that they have nuclear stockpiles. Bad news, man.
Okay. I'm sorry, what did the Trump administration bomb previously?
I just listed them for you. Do you need me to list them again? Qom, Isfahan, Fordo.
Okay, so that were nuclear stockpiles.
No. Those are nuclear development sites.
That contain nuclear stockpiles.
I think they moved their nuclear stockpiles, neoliberal.
Okay, so didn't he just say that there is a IAEA reported that there is an activity? They don't know what type of activity at the sites that they have bombed.
Well, presumably the IAEA is not monitoring soccer games. So the activity, apparently, which Iran refuses to let the IAEA inspect, go explain that one, is again a concern. which is why they were bombed.
I agree that it's a concern. That's why the guy is saying that there is a deal on the table, right? That would de-risk all of those things.
Right. Insufficient because it doesn't address ballistic missiles and foreign sponsorship of terror.
There is
Agree?
15 minutes in the conversation.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Question.
Do you want to hear
what
the
did
rest
they
of it?
agree to? Question. She asked him 3 times and he avoided the question. The third time he answered. And he answered this partial deal, which is insufficient, given what the demand is from the United
Can we just get the information? Like, it is insufficient for you. My point, do you agree that it's a better deal than Obama's deal?
I beg your
Do you
pardon?
agree that it would be a better deal than Obama's deal?
Absolutely not. Obama's deal was
Okay,
shit.
explain how.
Because the ask is ballistic missiles and terrorist sponsorship.
Obama's deal didn't have ballistic missiles.
So you're comparing shit to shit? That's not good enough. I'm sorry.
Well, I'm asking you a relative question. Which deal is better, Obama's deal or the deal that this guy said is on the table?
What I'm answering you is it's insufficient, my brother.
I'm not asking about sufficiency. I'm asking about relative
You're not asking
comparisons
me
of the
that
two deals.
because apparently you're not getting my message.
I'm not
demand
interested in your message, Norma. I'm interested whether you are able to compare two things.
Yes, I'm able. So you understand why we went to war,
is
right?
better?
So
which one is better?
You understand why we went to war, neoliberal?
Can you answer the question, which deal is better on a relative comparison?
I answered that already. Do you understand why we went to war?
He can't do it. He's on cocaine.
I'm finished. No, I
I
don't
don't
think
know.
so.
Which deal is better on a relative comparison?
Okay, neoliberal. Do you understand why we went to war or not? If you don't, I'll tell you again.
Why are you answering my question with a question? Can you just
I'm
answer
answering your question
first,
with your
and then I
question
can answer
because
your
you're
question?
trying to avoid the reason for this war, and it's not working.
And Norma, I can't avoid anything when you're avoiding your question.
If you're not avoiding it, let's discuss it.
Norma, the only person that's avoiding answering a very simple question is you.
I understand.
Why are you asking the question?
The nuclear
Proceed with your
stockpile.
answer.
And we're not in war. We're at war. The nuclear stockpiles are a problem. As the Omani representative, a wonderful country, by the way, and a wonderful people, pointed out. Why do they still have them? Not good. The ballistic missiles are a problem.
Can you answer my question? Which deal is better?
Yes. Both deals are insufficient. Listen carefully. The
Okay,
deals
they are insufficient. I got your point. I understand your point.
Okay, do you
Which
agree
one
with
is
me?
better?
Hang on. Do you agree with me?
They
that
can
they're
both be insufficient for you. Which one is better?
Well, are they insufficient for you?
No, I don't care. Like I'm not
You don't
judging.
care.
I don't decide on what deal is sufficient or insufficient.
Capable of deciding which deal is in. Okay, I'll decide for you. I'll do for you. Those deals.
Okay, but before you decide it, can you answer which one is better?
Both deals are insufficient, Neo. I dispute the premise. I dispute the premise of your question.
All right, neoliberal, I can't take it. I can't take it.
Good. Yeah, I know. Like,
just let other people talk. I can't. You just vortex yourself and you let Norm Buck break you for 10 minutes.
It was a pleasure. Thank you for the opportunity.
What the hell? Seven, you're off mute. Did you want to talk or did you do that on purpose, flushing the toilet?
Oh, sorry. Yeah, I was taking a shit, but I was saying that we're not in war.
Move them. Yeah. Go ahead. What do you want to say?
Yeah, I wanted to just say that first thing, we're not in war. Okay, that's first thing. Second way, this country's not a democracy.
We're not in war. Stop
And this country's not a democracy. It's a federal republic.
Second, bro. Hold on.
Wait,
you
hold
said
on.
we're not at war.
No, we're not at war. I was in the military for 25 years, special
Oh my
officers.
God! I'm just trying to
listen.
clarify what you're saying.
No, I'm trying to
When you say we,
relax.
you mean
Take a deep breath. We're not in war. We're not in war.
Is that just the United? All right. So not United States. What about Israel? Is Israel at war?
No, they're not in war.
Okay, cool. All right, keep going.
Wait, are you washing your hands?
He hasn't washed them.
No, he
took a shit. Wiped his ass with his fingertips.
Yeah, that's what the Jews do.
And then it went straight to the phone to unmute.
I'm not
He
borrowing
got
that
shit
phone.
all over his phone.
Got it.
Fucking nasty, bro. Go ahead. Since you were in the military for 20 years, they taught you how to shit and wipe your hands.
To take the shit out your ass, I said 25 years.
Fucking nasty.
It's only.
Still haven't washed your hands, bro. Go wash your hands. You got shit all over your house.
Hand sanitizer.
It's what the Jews do.
I'm still shitting, bro.
Oh, okay. Well, go ahead. Tell us how it is. So
Obviously,
it's not a war.
shitting. He's shitting when he speaks.
So it's not a war. What is it?
This would be called a conflict, sir. There's a difference between a war and a conflict. But
Right, break down the difference.
that's the thing. The breakdown the difference is when you declare war, you need to have Congress in order to do it. He's not in a war. It's not a war. It's a conflict. It's just like.
So we weren't at war in Afghanistan.
What was that? No, we weren't.
Afghanistan.
No, we weren't in war, sir.
Okay. So you're only in a war if Congress declares war.
Yeah, no, exactly. I'm just giving you just facts, sir. I mean, just receipts. Just like this is not a uphold democracy. This is not a democracy. The word democracy is not even in the Constitution.
Say democracy.
You guys,
calm down.
No,
All right, bro, you gotta calm down. The cocaine and the PTSD is insane. Just calm down.
He gets his cocaine from El Nasser. El Nasser sold
I
it to
want to
him.
rebut this guy's stupid argument.
Calm down. So the last time Congress declared war, was it Korea? I think it might have been Korea. It's been a while. So you're saying
No, Korea was actually a police action, believe it or not. And technically, we're still a war with
Mute up. The last time Congress declared war, it was actually World War II. So you're saying the U.S. has not been at war since the 1940s?
Yes.
All right, cool. Who's next in the queue?
Imagine
Right, there's no reason.
Oh, you got the brain of a Jew. El Nasser is cocaine Jew.
It's not even worth. It's just who's next. Like that's the way that you just ask people basic questions, and then when they answer like that, just move. Just keep.
Man,
moving.
have you talked about the mass stabbing in Virginia?
The what? Wait, what?
There was several people stabbed and shots fired on the outer loop of 495, Little Rock Turnpike in Annandale, Virginia. Suspect is down. Shots fired by Virginia police. At least 4 victims have been stabbed. 2 are reported critical condition. Fairfax County is assisted.
But is that related?
I would say so. A stabbing problem.
Oh, at the ICE facility? No. Wait, put in check.
No, is it Islamic terror? I would say possible.
It's too soon to assume anything, dude. Let them fucking do research. Why are you even saying anything?
You obviously don't come in here often. That's
I've been here for 6 years. Shut the fuck up.
Are you talking about?
But it's from 3 days ago.
Correct for 6 years. That's
We
amazing.
don't need disrespect to Sunday.
Peter needs a break. Peter needs a break.
That's amazing.
Yeah, Patty on break. But Trent, you sure this is recent? I just Googled. Sorry, brother. I just Googled, and I'm seeing something from 3 days ago, Fairfax, Virginia. I don't see anything now. Put a link for us, brother.
I wanted to talk real bad.
Sometimes people reach through that are older or false. I'll go back and check. Sorry about that. If it isn't old.
Perfect.
The 3 dead soldiers, by the way, I don't know if anybody saw it. They were in Kuwait. I don't know if people saw that, but they were in Kuwait. U.S. soldiers that had been killed. They were attacked. They were killed in Kuwait.
Has anybody been hurt in Dubai? I know they've been sheltering in place. Do y'all know if anybody was hurt there?
Hang on, this is breaking. No, this is new.
Oh my God.
It's multiple stabbings on 495 near Washington, D.C. At least 4 people have been stabbed, and the suspect is down. So no, it just happened. I was happening to be looking at that.
So you're just naming everything.
Post it. Because what this got to do with what we talk about?
He said that this morning about the one in Austin. I mean, it's possible. Y'all I know y'all don't like Trent, but
No, it's not. I mean,
Not that it's
has
not
to have
to see
We
it.
have mass
understanding of
shootings
working.
every day, though. That's the problem with is that we have mass shootings, mass stabbings, mass truck driving. It doesn't matter. There's mass killings happening in America every fucking day.
Shut the fuck up.
No, you shut the fuck up.
All right. Let's regroup.
I can confirm that Trent is right. I'm seeing the same thing, and I posted it just now.
No, but
Oh Lord, sorry.
So nobody's
Guys are speaking too soon about it, though. That's the problem.
It's news. What we do.
The hot air's coming out of El Nasru's nose.
Yes, but like, there's
Hold on. One mic. Yeah. When someone up top speaks, y'all gotta chill, man. I know Ben is sick of fuck of y'all right now. Like, chill the fuck out. Patty ain't even talking, because half the shit y'all talking is a bunch of bullshit. Let's talk about the news. Trent brought some news. Lord confirmed it. And this is what we do around here. All this, you jump into conclusion. You can't jump to a conclusion on a news story. We just found out about the shit. This is what we do. Somebody brings something, we all go looking for it to see what's going on, and we talk about it. Rinse and repeat. What's the problem today? Let's go.
I'm confused.
No, we want to play it.
Jesus Christ! I'm tired of people talking over me. I've been very respectful and listened to a lot of people. Can I please say something for 2
One
seconds?
mic on, brother. Let's go, brother.
All I was saying, I was not disagreeing or pushing back with anything that Trent was saying. All I was saying is I was trying to get context. There was a conversation that we were having that he brought in breaking news. I thought it was directly connected to the thing that we were just talking about. It may or may not be. I was just wanted to ask, where's the source? And was there a connection that we know about? If we don't know, that's fine. But it was just in the throes of the conversation that we were already having. So I was just trying to get some more context.
I wasn't talking to you. Me and you good.
No, I'm
people saying stuff.
Trying to help.
Yeah, no, you good, brother. It's just the other side comments. They know who they are. Like throwing us off. You good, brother. I mean, who knows? Everybody's flipping out right now. Not in this room. I mean, in this world. There's a lot happening. Some people are gung ho about it, and a lot of people are not gung ho about it. You know, people are upset we're losing soldiers. People, I don't know. Some people said they didn't vote for this. They're having buyer's remorse. Others are coming in here with their agendas because they're from the region. This is what it is. But let's keep the conversation going, guys.
Maybe we should pray for the people in the GCC and the Americans and the Israelis who are under fire right now getting bombed. Maybe we should pray for them.
So neoliberal, I wanted to go back to the interview you played with the Oman, with foreign minister. Yeah, some of the things he said is similar to what the Iranian foreign minister said. The Iranian foreign minister spoke to MSNBC now, and he said that, we were already reaching an agreement. And he spoke of the same thing, that on Thursday we were reaching an agreement, and this is where we reached to, and we agreed to lower our enrichment. We agreed to all the terms. Essentially, it was very similar to what, I can't state word for word, but very similar to what Oman was saying. And they said, we believed we got somewhere. And all of a sudden, America decided to attack.
Yep.
And had an agreement in place. And he said, if America is serious, we are willing to go back and completing that agreement, but they have to stop attacking us.
Yes, and by the way, on the ballistic missiles, again, according to the minister, he was asked, that will Iran negotiate about its ballistic missiles? And the answer was, I believe Iran is open to discuss everything, including ballistic missiles, because they've said this part of the talk has to do the nuclear stuff, and then they're open to discussing that, including ballistic missiles, including investments, including oil deals, including mineral deals.
Well, they're going to have another chance to negotiate now that they have seen that we're serious.
No, I'm talking.
By
to
the
them.
way, I understand.
Talking.
I mean, I am talking to her.
Go back on
They
mute.
also
Go back
have
on mute.
to
I'm
agree.
not talking.
Thank you. I haven't finished yet. They also.
Yeah, that's fine.
They also have to agree not to slaughter their own people. They also have to agree to stop slaughtering their own people.
So neoliberal.
Norma, where are you getting into?
Another report on Al Jazeera where it was analysts from the Middle East, Gulf, foreign schools and all of that. And they say, from what we're looking at, none of these entities are willing to de-escalate. That the US isn't, Israel isn't, Iran isn't. And Iran will not stop unless Israel and America are willing to sit so they can negotiate on something.
Yeah, well,
he was just saying this is going to continue. This is going to get worse, and they're going to expand attacks on specific U.S. operations in the region.
Yep. Earlier today, Trump said he's open to talk, but open to talk on his timeline. So he basically said this is going to go forward until he decides not to. But the offer from Iranians to talk, he resisted. He said, just not now.
Yeah, the issue is they won't be able to, it won't stop because any person who eventually is to consolidate power, whether it's a supreme leader or something, you're going to need to show that you will be capable of defending or at least stand up to the West. So legitimacy in itself can only be by proving that, hey, we hit back. We're going to hit back the Americans hard or the Israelis and stuff like that.
So they have it already. Mm-hmm. Right? They can spin whatever they did, which, okay, we can discuss whatever they did, but they definitely can already spin whatever attacks that they made on U.S. allies, U.S. bases, killing U.S. soldiers as reestablishing deterrence. They can claim success on it.
But then there was also another thing that the analysts were saying, which is that I think from the attacks that happened last year, apparently, was it last year or the year before, but apparently Iran broke apart the structures. So before, instead of it having one full command center coming downwards, the Republican guards were somehow given some autonomy from the foreign ministry and things that happen with the foreign ministry.
Yep.
And because of that, it's very difficult to control things, and it's worse for the international community because you now have to deal with different entities of the regime.
Well, they can consolidate it. This is like in slightly game theory what he did, but Aragici said it like blatantly, saying that the units are decentralized in a command control structures that are isolated, and they are striking, and they have a wide range on tactics, target selection. So they're working autonomously, right? That doesn't mean that they lost control over them, but for OPSEC reasons that they are not reestablishing control. They designed it that way. It's not like they have splintered. That's how they designed it, right? And whenever the message is basically end your attacks and we'll rein them in, right? The implicit threat on it is that they can, at some point, attack the oil infrastructure of the Gulf states, which, if that's the option that Iran hasn't done yet fully. They attacked a port, but if they start attacking explicitly oil infrastructure, which they have the capability, there's also a nuclear reactor they can attack, or whatever, that would be another level of escalation. But if they escalate to attacking oil infrastructure and burning the oil fields, that's the implicit threat, right? Like these autonomous units could decide to just do it. And well, during the Kuwait War, it took 1 year to put out the oil field fires.
Oh yes, just to correct. So the autonomous unit that this plan, they actually did that. I think it's last year that they decided to purposely do it that way and ensure that all the different entities were running on their own. Before it was all under one entity, and last year, I think after the US-Israeli attack, they decided to then break them into those entities.
You're right about this, Miriam. But at this point, are they even still a country? Then they're just a bunch of disparate terror groups attacking their neighbors at will, self-destructively, nihilistically destroying their neighbors, their Muslim neighbors, on Ramadan's means of making an economy.
You don't give a shit. You keep repeating yourself again and again. Isn't that you're just a dumb human being who cannot make any new point?
Why don't you just address the point?
Hold on, wait a minute.
Go
the
ahead.
foreign minister was talking to George Stephanopoulos. Do we want to hear from the foreign minister of Iran?
I'd love to hear more. I think it was very informative.
I'm sorry, Devon, what did you say?
I'd say yes, just to give us a break and to have something for us to discuss, yes.
Yeah, that would be great. And just last
Wait,
final thing
before
I
you
want to
say
say.
that,
Let's stop talking about Ramadan because the US and Israel went and attacked this country during Ramadan. You are not supposed to be doing attacks on Ramadan.
No, we don't celebrate.
He actually cares. So
No, Miriam, you know what he's trying to do.
Wait.
He's just trying to get us riled up and test us not look back.
Wait a minute.
We're gonna listen to the clip. Yes,
I wanted to play the clip, but I think Janice was trying to get in there, and
of course.
She got stepped over. So
yeah.
Well, Michael and Johnny, and then we're gonna play a clip.
Back. Thank you. I just wanted to give context to what's going on in Virginia. It looks like there was a crash off of the Turnpike 495 in Fairfax, and the suspect got out the car and allegedly stabbed 4 people. So I don't know if that's related to everything that's happening outside of the country, but that's the latest. So they shut down sections of 495.
Johnny, appreciate you.
and okay, I'm on music mode, so let me go back to the clip.
That kind of risk. Senator, thanks for your time. I want to go to Tehran right now because we're being joined by the Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi. Mr. Foreign Minister, thank you for joining us this morning. Who's in charge of Iran right now?
Well, first of all, thank you for having me in your program. Well, I think now there is a procedure set in our constitution, and that when we lose the supreme leader, there will be a new one elected by the Assembly of Experts. And now we have started the procedure. There is a transitional council of the president, the head of judiciary, and one jurist of the Guardian Council. These 3 would decide, are in charge right now, and they will actually arrange the election of the new leader by the Assembly of Experts and strikes. But they were replaced very soon, and in less than 12 hours, we were able to start retaliation. This time, it was even, faster. In less than 2 hours, we started to retaliate by attacking, Israeli targets and American bases in the region, and we have continued to do so. So our military is in place. They are capable enough to defend our country. Even more, they are more prepared and capable than previous war, before 12-day war. Huge differences between these two. So one should tell, the President of the United States, do not attack, do not, make any aggression against another country. But nobody can tell us that you don't have any right to defend yourselves. We are defending ourselves, whatever it takes, and we see no limit for ourselves to defend our people, to protect our people. Just look, yesterday they hit and they struck against a school. So far, 148 girls, students have been killed, and this is a big massacre. This is a war crime. And you say we don't have any right to defend ourselves?
You say you want to protect your people.
Hospital.
You say you want to protect your people, but your own regime, according to the essence we've seen over the last several months, is responsible for the killing of up to 30,000 of Iranian citizens.
Well, we have already answered this accusation. You know, let me to explain. We were faced with a terrorist operation. It was first protesters, demonstrations, which was legal according to our constitutions. Our people have the right to protest and to go for gatherings and demonstrations. They did it from 28 December to 7 January. We had legal protests. Everything was fine and nobody was killed. And then on 8th January to 10, we faced with a terrorist operation. Armed elements were added to this question, and they started to shoot at our police forces, our security forces, and then they started to shoot at ordinary people, even to protesters. Why? Because they wanted to increase the number of deaths. Since the President of the United States had already said that if there are killings, he would come to rescue. So they wanted to actually drag him to this question. So they started to kill people. So that was a terrorist operation for 3 days, and the number of killings were exactly 3,117. And the names of those victims, all of those victims have been already published by us, together with their identification number. If anybody claims that the number is more, as you said, 30,000, 50,000, whatever, please show one evidence. Please add one more name to the list we have already published. So please be fair. Out of those 300, 100 people, we have announced 2,500 as martyrs because they were killed by terrorist elements. 200 of our police forces have been killed by those terrorist elements. If somebody shoot at a police department officer in the United States, how do you react? Do you just give him permission to do whatever?
Okay, so I paused it. Did anybody want to speak about what he said thus far? Don't all attack the mic at once.
It's a bunch of lies.
Tiffany, I think Tiandra, just play all of it.
I mean, I want to comment on
so we can listen to more lies.
Another one of Trump's demands is that they stop slaughtering their own people, and that's a really good point. It's unacceptable. I mean, especially women and children. They slaughter them, and then they go into the hospitals. Anybody who was wounded, they go into the hospitals and finish them off.
How do we know everything? Hold on. So who is that? Dude keeps saying it's lies. He said they provided, it was 3,000, not 30,000. How do we know he's lying?
Because the Iranian people themselves are telling us. They're literally dancing in the streets right now that we took out this evil dictator, Khamenei.
Hold on, slow down.
Sure.
Where is the evidence that 30,000 people, they said it or they gave evidence?
The Iranian people.
He said they provided the 3,000. He said that they were shooting at police. So that's lies?
They were unarmed.
They weren't armed.
They were unarmed.
How do we know? There's no media in Iran.
Listen, the Iranian people, when they can get to their Starlinks, they're uploading all this info. We have Iranian people in the room. Please ask them. Actual people in Iran in this room.
How do we know the number? That's all. We don't
From the Iranian people.
So would you wait a second? Would you rather trust the words of the person who slaughtered all those people?
No,
or even trust the slaughter?
no, I'm not trusting them either. I'm gonna tell you. So this is what we're gonna do.
Divine seemed to.
This is what we're gonna do. Instead of you people trying to do the either or side, we're trying to have an adult conversation, right? We're just asking for the evidence. That's all. Divine doesn't know the number. Divine can't point out Iran on a map. Neoliberal can't point out Iran on a map. Neither can I. We're just asking. We just want to see it. 1 second, sir. We just want to see it. No one is agreeing with the regime. Dude, if you do that straw man one more time, we're just going to remove you from the room. Nobody here likes the Ayatollahs. Stop it. We're not here to bang. We just want to see the evidence. You saying somebody come into a room, you ping them, they're from Iran, they don't know either. They don't know. Just because you're on Clubhouse, I don't trust anybody. That's all I'm saying. For the evidence. I wanted to see it. I wanted to see it too, just for my own edification. It's not that I agree or disagree. I imagine it's closer to 30,000 than 3,000 for sure.
I'm looking at Amnesty International right now, man.
I'm just asking for the evidence. Cool. All right, put it in the chat. That's all. Don't ask us if we agree with the Ayatollahs again. The next person that does that will be blocked from the room for life. I'll just put you on a permanent block list. Nobody here supports the fucking Ayatollahs. Just because you can only have conversations based off of the fact that you agree or disagree and you want to bang, y'all can do that with the dumb room. Go open a healthy debates and do that dumb shit. That's all Devon was asking for. It's really stupid.
I respect your commentary, but I was not believing that way.
No.
Thank you.
No. Do we want me to continue playing the clip?
No.
Yes.
No.
Oh, no?
Wait a minute.
No. Okay.
Now Norm is citing Amnesty International?
I thought they were Hamas.
Oh my God.
In Gaza, they have
2
been
years saying
in Gaza.
Now we
In Gaza, yes, they are infiltrated by Hamas. That's been proven. We actually busted them.
Well, in Israel, in Iran, they're infiltrated by Mossad both ways. This is ridiculous.
It does?
Yes.
Where's the evidence of that?
The saying goes going to the N word.
Or did you just pull it?
Yep.
Yeah, I never called. When did I call you the N word?
Yeah, 8 times. I have it on tape.
When? Play it now, please. Wait, stop the room and play it now.
No.
Stop the room. Stop lying. You're a Christian man.
Here, 1 second.
You know about the sins it's called bearing false witness?
Where does it say 30,000 on the Amnesty International site?
Why change the subject?
That's what we're talking about.
Why did you bear false witness before God?
Because I wanted to. I don't believe in God. Where's the 30? Where's the
30,000? Ben, from my understanding of reading this article.
Be quiet, dude.
Okay.
Be quiet. Where does it say 30,000 on the Amnesty International?
Give me some time, and I will pull together.
Not some time. Not some time.
So you posted a link.
He's asking. He wants to dig down and get granular in order to avoid the truth.
You're done. We asked you for the evidence of the 30,000. You put something in.
And
the
I'm
chat.
assembling it for you, and then before you even read it,
I'm asking where the 30,000 on this is.
Oh.
He didn't even read it.
Okay, so we don't have that. All right, someone's got another one. This is Iran Intel. I don't know what that is. Where's the evidence from this one? The person that Googled. What is Iran International? Where is it? Who put that? Sober man. How did they get that number?
So Ben, I.
1 second, Ali.
Sure.
Ask him a question.
Go ahead.
Where did they get the number from? Okay. Don't have that one either. All right, go ahead, Ali.
Yeah, thank you for that. I have been looking up to see not exactly, approximately what the numbers are. And the numbers we're talking about is the numbers being killed by the Islamic Republic of Iran in the last 5 or 6 weeks. The numbers range from 3,100 provided by the government of Iran, as the replay showed, all the way to 36,000 people by different people. So my sources are from Public Broadcasting, Associated Press, and Wikipedia, which goes more in details, providing the sources that the numbers are coming from. So I think at the minimum, one could say by some good level of confidence, if you believe the government of Iran, at the minimum 3,100 people have been killed by the Iranian government in the last 4 or 5 weeks. Then one could take the numbers going all the way to 30,000, which comes from credible sources. And I can put it in the chat, but I have to tell you, it's very difficult to actually get a good grasp of the totality of the people being killed, because the apparatus of government in Iran does not really allow any credible kind of assessment of how many people have been killed. One could say, well, they have the truth, they being the Iranian government. Anyway, I'm just landing with this 3,100 to 30,000, actually 36,000.
All right, so one mic, okay. One mic real quick. So what Sober Dude posted, Iran International editorial is owned by Violent Media UK. privately owned company based in London. Violent Media has stated it is owned by a Saudi British citizen and denies state backing. So that article that Soberman posted said 36,500, and I said, well, who are these people? And I just said who they are. This is a UK-based Saudi British citizen-owned organization saying that 36,500 people have been killed. And what the gentleman just said, it was my point as well. People are saying these numbers. It's just like us saying how many people crossed the border, right? It was 50 million, it was 30 million, it was 10 million. These numbers, we just want the truth. I'm not down with anybody. I have no motive to side with the Shah or the Ayatollah. We just want to know what the hell is going on. I'm going on me.
Well, Time Magazine's a better outlet, and I provided an article from Time Magazine.
Time Magazine is allowed to go into Iran?
Go ahead, T. No, there's information in the article.
Okay. All right. TT, go ahead. Let's listen to the rest.
TT, you there? We're ready for the rest of the video, for the rest of the thing.
One thing we can agree on is that this genocide regime is slaughtering its own people. There's no dispute about that. And it's intolerable.
So is Israel. Israel slaughtering their own people.
Another thing.
Actually not. I don't know if you heard about this ceasefire.
They're occupied Israel, so they
Who's occupied? Wait, which part is occupied? I'm sorry.
Why are we going to Israel? That's not the topic. Come on.
Yeah, you got a little bit
Norm, you're not really the right person here to bring the moral high ground to the attention.
I'm taking the moral high ground. Now you challenge me.
No, I'm just saying you're being a hypocrite. You're being a hypocrite.
Another thing that we know for a fact, right? Like, I believe the regime is repressive and has killed protesters. The number, I don't know the exact number, right? I can confirm it either way. I believe it's higher than the government number. I believe it's lower than 30,000. The other thing that we know
What's the basis of that belief?
The basis is the low and high numbers. The amnesty is credible given that they have done the research. Amnesty's number is not 30,000.
Yeah. So they're one. Right. So you're just going to add them together and take the middle just to be in the middle?
Well, that's my personal choice, yes.
Okay. So in other words, we don't know, but just
This is crazy. He fighting you about amnesty, and he wasn't honest when it came to Gaza.
Well, amnesty was
Mossing
doesn't.
I think it's
proved it.
Okay. Lorma, can we stick to the topic?
Let's do that.
Okay. I think amnesty is credible. I think there is a wide band of uncertainty when it comes to this question. So let's deal with that. It's uncertain. The other thing that we know that isn't uncertain, right? That during the 12-day war, there were Israeli agents and weapons and stashes around, right? That were used during the 12-day war, and it stands to reason that some of that ended up deliberately, non-deliberately in protesters' hands. So there you go.
Tiandre, are you there?
I'm second out there.
Okay, yeah, we're ready to continue. If you have the clip, please.
Okay, give me 1 second.
Added to this question, and they started to shoot at our police forces, our security forces, and then they started to shoot at ordinary people, even to protesters. Why? Because they wanted to increase the number of deaths. Since the president of the United States had already said that if there are killings, he would come to rescue. So they wanted to actually drag him to this question. So they started to kill people. So that was a terrorist operation for 3 days, and the number of killings were exactly 3,117. And the names of those victims, all of those victims have been already published by us to together with their identification number. If anybody claims that the number is more, please show why published. So if out of those 300, that's 500 as more. 200 of our police forces have been killed by terrorist elements. Some shoot at police department officer in the United States. What do you do next? Do you just give him permission to do what protester? No. So please distinguish between two different stories.
We have seen evidence of newborns killed, of children's killed, of a certain you have claimed.
Yes.
Are those who are celebrating the streets right now subject to the same kind of discipline?
But daily cars who were passed through the streets, and so many people were killed, blindly by these terrorist elements because they were ordered by Israel at that time. They were instructed to kill people and give a big number of killings to the President of the United States. We have their voices, the instructions which coming from Mossad, from outside to these terrorist elements who are ordering them, police officers, if not police, they kill the boy and girl in front of you because of their killings.
Is a negotiated settlement with the United States still possible?
Well, you answered this question. We negotiated with the United States twice in the past 12 months, and in both cases, they attacked us in the middle of negotiation. And that has become a very bitter experience for us. In last June, we were negotiating. We had 5 rounds of negotiations, and we had already fixed the 6th round for 15 June when the Israeli attacked us, and then the US joined the attack. And this time, we had 3 rounds. Last day, we had a very good discussion, very good talks in Geneva. The Iranian and the US delegation were happy at the end of 7 hours of negotiations. And I can go into the details of what we agreed and how a deal was at our reach. And when we concluded, the Omani foreign minister, who was the impartial intermediator between us, he concluded by saying in his post that we made significant progress this time. We were able to come to a good understanding on some of our differences. Some other differences were left for the next meeting, and we decided to Vienna on Monday, which means tomorrow, to go to the IAEA and with the help of the International Atomic Energy Organization, try to find technical solutions for the both believed, the both delegations believed that this is possible. So a deal was at our reach, and we left Geneva happily with the understanding that we can reach a deal next time we meet. And it was very unfortunate that those who are against peace, against diplomacy, against negotiation, when they understood that diplomacy is going on well, they decided in the media, against the Islamic Republic of Iran, against, the desires of us, against, and they made lots of accusations against us. They created false information and disinformation, and they finally get to their, to what they wanted. They dragged President Trump, they convinced President Trump to attack us unprovoked and unwarranted.
Mr. Minister, thank you for your time this morning. And we'll be right back.
Join delicious from Okay, that was the. Give me 1 second and fast forward, and I'll see what's going on with the rest of the cast.
I like the Omani guy much better, to tell you the truth. I trust him more. The Omanis are great people.
No one gives a shit who you trust.
Yeah. Move on from Norm.
You'll kill him.
Beg your pardon?
Okay.
They're all great people. All Palestinians are great people.
One mic.
No, we
one
do
mic,
business
one-
with the Omanis. They're
One
great people.
mic. I know you hear me saying one mic. Respectfully.
What did you want
So,
to say?
Lord just put in the chat, and I'm gonna see what else I can find out. Iranian drone strike hit an ammunition warehouse at a U.S. base in Erbil in Iraq. Secondary explosions and a large fire were observed at the scene. Also, IRGC is putting out numbers, which I don't believe, saying that so far the U.S. has lost 560 soldiers. I don't think there's any truth to that. So let's keep the current events going, guys. In this situation, anybody find out anything, I'm going to check this out. Again, shout out to Lord.
You know, when we're thinking about the situation, I think when we look to the future, if the Trump administration is right and these guys collapse and all that occurs, it will be a win for them. That said, which, you know, I hope that occurs. That said, on the Iranian side, you know, the strategic logic is really you just have to survive. Like, if you're the Iranian regime and you can stay in power and you can keep these attacks going and you can kind of keep oil prices going through the roof and you can do this until the summer, domestic support for the Trump administration will be like in the 20s. And that's the problem that they face, is that the Iranian regime, this by simple survival, and eventually domestic support will collapse and they'll be essentially left alone.
I mean, that's where it becomes a little bit tricky on the oil prices. They have not really targeted substantially. There were some strikes, but oil infrastructure. Now, some of this conflict has been priced in the oil price, and the analyst range has like the optimistic one, right? Is that configuration where Strait of Hormuz is closed, but it's closed to on the cans, insurance prices go up, like stuff like that. There is instability over Strait of Hormuz. Sometimes it's open, sometimes it's closed. It's unclear, right? Yeah, insurance prices go up. There is rerouting happens, which all of this already happened. Insurance has been, some of the insurance has been voided. There is a negotiation on it. There is rerouting. Maersk announced they are rerouting, which rerouting adds 2 weeks. The Saudis and the Gulfs are going to transition to using the pipeline. I need to do the math on it. How much can they substitute barrels per day using the pipelines rather than Strait of Hormuz? It's not fully substitutable, right? And so the range on oil prices tomorrow, depending on who you read, can be from 80 to 120. And also depends on what happens since then, right? If there is a strike on oil infrastructure, what you just said, Brian, might happen much sooner, like within days, rather than prolonged to summer.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, absolutely. I'm just the elongated part of it is just this is not a conflict the Trump administration can allow to just keep on going. It is what I'm saying. Just politically, you cannot allow this to keep on going. And for kind of strategic victory on the Iranian side, you just need to survive, and you just need to do these sort of attacks and keep your regime alive and not keep a domestic overthrow. What was my point? It is one side. It's essentially a hope and a prayer that the Iranians will overthrow the government, but the other side, you just have to live to the next day, and eventually this will collapse, or the political will to carry out this conflict will collapse on the American side.
So, like, what's interesting about what you said there, though, is how it impacts China. Well, I think they get 90% of Iran's oil sent to China. Something like that. You can fact check that number, but you just provided the calculus and how it would probably impacts Xi Jinping as well.
Well, it's a good point, dude. We're starving our enemy, China. It's an excellent point. This is a big demonstration for China that we are willing to use our overwhelming force, and we will starve them and prevent them from moving on the neighborhood of Singapore, Japan, Australia, Vietnam. And of course, the main event, Taiwan, which they have plans to do, according to them, before 2027. That's what this is about. And I'm glad that Trump has finally figured that out and is willing to do it. 100% true.
How much of total oil supply does China get from Iran?
What was the last figure you just offered? What was that, dude?
That was the other way around. I'm asking how much.
What was the figure you? Well, hang on, dude. Just tell you. If you're not listening, just ask him. He just told you.
Well, I said 90% of Iran's supply. He's asking how much of the total supply in China is provided by.
Thank you, dude. And it's also somewhat.
Does somebody want to answer that?
No. Years, I got a lot of respect.
Let Norm answer, please. Norm, answer.
Why are you asking me to answer?
Because
you're looking to me as the source of knowledge.
Because you made a claim.
Suddenly you want to be your authority.
You made a claim that this was about starving out China. So
that's
answer.
Correct. That's correct.
You just say things with no understanding of what.
Wait a second. Starving China. You know who else is starving? All American allies in Asia.
You asked me a question. Let me answer. I said that this was a demonstration to China that we are willing to use our overwhelming force. Do you disagree?
Okay, let's move on. Let's
just quickly.
I guess you agree.
You need to learn what.
Excellent. I'm glad you guys are learning from me.
Oh my God, man! You know the answer. Just stop yapping.
I'm just glad you guys are learning from me. You don't disagree.
It's like 10%. Just be quiet.
Yeah,
go ahead.
I found the answer, and you're pretty close. It's 13 to 15%.
We know what it is. Very small. It doesn't do anything. And if anything, it hurts the other Asian countries that depend more on Iran that the U.S. is still allied with. Go ahead.
Well, I mean, 80% of the oil from Iran goes to China.
That doesn't matter from China's perspective. Go ahead, Trent.
What matters is our willingness to
sit the fuck down then.
Go ahead, Trent.
That was long.
It is now confirmed that per the New York Times, the IGRC, the Islamic Republican Guard headquarters, has been destroyed, as well as more breaking reports that the intelligence apparatus of the Iranian regime has been decimated as well. There were reportedly hundreds of soldiers inside the intel complex. No word on how many were in the IRGC headquarters, but both of those have been completely destroyed.
Yeah, CENTCOM was tweeting that out. I saw that too. What else? Anybody else?
Just one comment on that. It somewhat doesn't matter that it hurts China too, because it's going to hurt like a global economic disruption if you can disrupt the state of Hormuz and kill a bunch of energy infrastructure through the Middle East. Yeah, it's going to hurt China. It's going to hurt the U.S. It's going to hurt the globe economically. But for this current conflict, which was my point, is that economic harm is going to be fucking really unpopular in the United States, as is another elongated war with in the Middle East. And if you combine that and you're going into election year, that's unsustainably politically for the United States, which goes back to my point. For the Iranians to win this, only thing they have to do is survive. Like the only way the Americans win this is a hope and a prayer that the Iranian people rise up and overthrow the regime, which I hope that occurs. But I would put my bets on the Iranian regime surviving and eventually political support for this war in the United States collapsing.
So Lindsey Graham says that it's not a regime change. The goal of this operation to change the threat, not the regime. And then there are news that Israel believes it can negotiate with the Iranian president, Pezeshkian, from Israeli Channel 12.
I mean, if you're the Iranians, you survive this conflict, and then you do a race as fast as you fucking can to a nuclear bomb. Like the whole religious teachings, you would think at this point that's got to be on the wayside, and you establish nuclear deterrence.
It's gone. I don't think many people know what you're talking about, but it's gone. It'll be within 2 years. If they're able to get back online, it'll be 2 years. If it might even be quicker.
Well, I mean, and that's what people don't understand about Iranian enrichment. Like, if you're 60, like the technically hard part of Iranian enrichment is going from just uranium ore to your 2% enrichment. Once you get it to 60%, it's not technically that hard to get it to 90%, and they have a shit ton of 60% enriched uranium. Now they got to do other stuff. They got to operationalize it in a bomb, and they got to put it on a missile. But they obviously have a decent missile tech. So all of that's not within the realm of possibilities. Like, they're in a corner. If the regime doesn't die, which I hope the regime dies. Don't mistake the statement. But if they don't die, the logic for what they need to do next, I couldn't imagine it being more crystal clear, and that's likely what they're going to do.
Yeah, I've been reading, just a bunch of commentary from people who study this kind of stuff, and I have not found one person who is not politically aligned, but really studies it, Brent, that suggests that the Iranians will be successful in doing the thing that people are calling on them to do. Lindsey Graham, when did he say that neoliberal?
I need to dig up specifically his stuff.
But I mean, he said it after the strikes?
Yes. Yeah.
Oh, that's insane. He was just saying last week he was at parties talking about regime change. See how quickly they change? See how quickly they change it? Now it's not about regime change. And there'll be maggots in here in a week saying it wasn't about regime change too. There's no regime change. The change you got was, instead of getting a cleric who tells them not to have the weapon, you're going to get some secular guy come in. They're going to put all their forces behind getting the weapon. That's the change. That fatwa. Do fatwas die when the person who issues the fatwa dies? How does that work? For those of you who know about fatwas.
Yeah, presumably fatwas will die if the target individual dies.
No, I meant the issuer of the fatwa.
Oh, I'm sorry?
The one who issued it. So coming in, he had a fatwa against building the weapons.
Right, I see. So that could continue from that perspective. So it seems to me, no matter who the new leader is going to be in Iran, whether the same regime coming up with a new leader, which actually they're in the process of doing at the selection process by this committee of three. One is the president of Iran, the other one is from the Justice Department. I believe would be something similar to the Supreme Court, and then the other one from another organization called the Assembly of Experts. So they have assembled these three individuals, and they're going to come up. That's their constitutional responsibility. Their constitutional responsibility is to select a leader. So suppose they do, and suppose the new leader becomes very clever and says, look, U.S., we'll do what you want us to do. We will stop enriching uranium. We have no ambition to produce any nuclear weapons. Second, we'll stop all of our production of the long-range ballistic missiles. Also, we guarantee you that the Strait of Hormuz is not going to be blocked by us being the Iranians. And the fourth one, the most important one, that we will stop categorically providing weapons money, help to all of the proxy terrorist groups in the region. If these four promises are made, and there are some mechanism to make sure that these promises are complied with, then it seems to me it's possible that the U.S. may say, okay, we're going to hold you accountable to this, and we're going to put these mechanisms in place to make sure that you're compliant. So this way, probably the regime can survive, but this regime cannot be trusted. So a fantastic opportunity, a momentous opportunity, which is now, is going to be lost because it's highly unlikely if Iranians make the promise, then they do not make good on the promises, let's say 6 months, a year down the road. Do you think we'll have anyone that will have the same opportunity that is here now presenting itself in order to the war? I don't think so. So there's a possibility that the regime could survive in the conditions that I just mentioned. But that would not be a good thing. I'm going to say the last thing, anyone, any fool that trusts the Islamic Republic of Iran's leadership, will be a fool, and they have proven over and over and over again that they cannot be trusted.
I don't know if the Iranians need to make a deal. I mean, assuming that they can survive, and that is an assumption that the Iranian people won't overthrow them. But assuming that they can survive, the political will for this conflict in America, like you're going into an election year in the U.S. where you already have a president that is about as popular as an STI. Like, he's already extremely unpopular. You're going to go into the sum of Americans, much higher gas prices and probably an even more unstable economy if this conflict kind of drags on. You're not really setting yourself up for a great November. And with that, I don't think this is politically sustainable. So the deal that you laid out, I don't know if it's necessary from the Iranian perspective. The other thing I'd say is, lots of talk of a collapse in the Iranian regime, and some of those scenarios can be positive, but some of those scenarios can be very, very negative. I mean, you could have more hardliners from the IRGC essentially take over, make the supreme leader essentially a figurehead, and then do the sort of things that I'm talking about.
Already happened.
Well, provide a nuclear, do a nuclear sprint and do those things. So, I just think this is a conflict. Obama said, "Let's bring back hope." I think this is like the neocon hope and dream, and hope it works out. And I'm just dubious that is going to.
Yeah, you're probably right, Brent. I think time is on the Iranian side for the reasons that you just explained. So I'm not sure. But the scenario you're presenting, it is possible in terms of the effect on the midterm elections in a negative way, particularly when the president actually had one of the agenda that he was running on is basically no nation building. The focus is going to be on the domestic, predominantly, on the domestic concerns of the country and immigration, taxation, and the rest of it. So the focus being pretty much is the other way around. Yeah, I do agree with you. Who knows what's going to happen?
Yeah, exactly. A lot of us right now are just speculating, which is fine. The news is a little sparse, but I think hope is good.
Lindsey Graham said it. Oh, sorry, on Meet the Press.
Isn't that what was in Pandora's box?
Hey, Neoliberal, can you look at the link that I posted? Just see if you played it already. It's super quick. It's with Lindsey Graham this morning. It's a different.
Ban, we're asking about the fatwa. So usually the fatwa is when the person dies. Unless if the fatwa is done as permanent and irrevocable, then it continues to a lifetime. It doesn't end until it's achieved.
Okay, interesting.
I just think that the tweet or the truth that Trump put out and that I put in Lindsey Graham's response is absolutely fucking nuts. I don't know if you've already addressed it. I mean,
Scotty, I think it's part of the same interview. There is a part
it
where
is.
says, quote unquote, the goal of this operation is to change the threat, not the regime. But he puts it like differently 3 times.
So we sacrificed all those fucking college kids that I read to Mola for fucking nothing?
Yep. Do you want me to stream it? I can if you want.
Which, the clip?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's a 2-second. Yeah, go for
I got it. Yes. Sorry. Hang on. Hold on. Sorry.
That's the other thing Scotty was listening to. We know why. We know why.
So 3 U.S. soldiers died for fucking nothing?
Wait, she's playing the clip. The clip that I put in there, Al, I hope.
While he's looking for the clip, I guess the 3 scenarios out there, possibilities. One is to remove the threat, the 4 that I mentioned, essentially, maybe not entirely. The second would be the regime change. And the third one would be the nation building. And I'm sure, absolutely, that we in the US, is not in the business of building, nation building. We have not done a good job, particularly when it comes to Middle Eastern countries, in Iraq and Afghanistan. So I think from those 3 scenarios, it seems to me the first one that I mentioned, removing the threat, would be a good goal to have, considering how menacing this Islamic Republic of Iran has been in the last 47 years, not only terrorizing their own people, and the numbers killed by this regime vary from 50,000 to 100,000 during the last 47 years. And I probably can post numbers here. And also being a threat to the regional stability in the adjacent countries and the region itself. And so removing the threat would be a good thing. At what cost, that has to be discussed and decided on. I'm sure people have calculated. What will it cost money-wise, time-wise?
That's fine for
human. Let me just land in here. And in terms of losing, American soldiers in this war. So anyway, it seems to me that removing the threat, if possible, it's a good thing.
Yeah, okay, if that is your war aim to remove the threat, you have to physically go in and remove the threat. Can't do that with air power. You can degrade the threat, bomb the threat, but if you want to remove it, that's going to require ground invasion of Iran. Like that is the only way you can quote unquote remove the threat. So you're if the goal is that, the means that you're using to get to that goal are just by definition non-sufficient.
So what I'll say is, like, you're talking about fully removing the threat with force, but so what about degrading that threat so much that the people could actually remove that threat?
Well, then that's regime change. Like if you're trying for regime change, maybe that could occur. There's some evidence that the Iranian people don't like this regime, and maybe you can bomb the regime to the point that they would overthrow. I would just say, to counter that, one, that is a strategy of hoping and praying, and to defeat that strategy, the only thing this regime has to do is survive. And this regime has shown a remarkable ability to survive, through its various crises. And I would, if I had to take a bet, and this is not the bet that I want to go true, but if I had to bet my life savings on it, I would bet on this regime surviving versus that kind of hope and prayer strategy working out.
Okay, and do you know who else agrees?
I have a
one
great
second.
disagreement.
Sure,
I'm
please go
going to
ahead.
play it before I lose it. Here we go.
Senator, at the time, you agreed with the findings of the intelligence community. I want to play back what you said at the time. Take a look.
Yeah, the Russians did it. It was the Russians who tried to interfere in our election. Every member of the committee was the Russians. They didn't change the outcome, but they did release information listening to the Democratic Party. It did affect Hillary Clinton. There's only one person in Washington that I know of that has any doubt about what Russia did in our election, and it's President Trump.
Senator, are you now saying that you...
Okay, that's it, guys.
Wait.
So, Brent, I wanted to respond to he's making a very good comment. Any effort that is going to postpone by a year, 2 years, or 5 years, the nuclear production of the enriching uranium in Iran, as also delaying the production of the, making the the production of long range ballistic missiles, and also putting some checks and balances in terms of Iran's participation in the fueling the regional conflict. I think even if you can postpone that for 2 or 3 years, that's a good thing. It may not necessarily require a regime change. By destroying the infrastructure in Iran, the military ones, particularly the one producing the weapons, and enriching uraniums would not be necessarily a bad thing to be done. So I don't think postponing it would be probably a better option. And I think this attack, it seems to me, that might be able to accomplish that.
Yeah, and if it doesn't accomplish that, just wait, Brent. If it doesn't accomplish that, then what it will do is change the state of affairs of the region. And that could still be a benefit of the people suffering from this regime, and also American benefit as well. The neighbors in the region that are, impacted by Iran, it's not only Israel. And I know that people in this room like to hate Israel, but they're not the only neighbor concerned with Iran today.
Alternatively, one second, Brent. Alternatively, it can, and I agree with Brent, right? But this is all, of course, seems very positive. Alternatively, it can embolden, as American CIA thinks that released the report a day before this campaign started, or on the same day, thinks that the RGC hardliners will be in power. The center of gravity will shift more to the more radical factions in the Iranian government, right, and IRGC. And given the asymmetry and costs of production of those weapons and access to oil, they can rebuild, right?
So kind of a few comments on kind of delaying. One, I just find it kind of humorous, because one of the big things that people didn't like about the JCPOA is that they said, well, this only delays the Iranians' path to nuclear bomb. It doesn't forever stall it. So, we did have an agreement. It did have sunset clauses that could be that could have been renegotiated, but we did have an agreement that was very cheap to implement, and that held the Iranians to 2.6 or 3.67% enriched uranium as a cap.
Were you here when the foreign minister of Oman was speaking, that there was a new agreement on the table that was better than Obama's agreement on nuclear issues?
I did not hear that.
Let me catch up. Before this war, the Omani foreign minister went on Face the Nation, right? Because I think he thought that the United States was going to go to war, and said that a deal on the table, right, on nuclear issues is much better than Obama had at the time. It permanently solves the nuclear weapons issue, and said that other than that, they are also open to discussing, not at this round, not at this stage, but once we have success with this, they're also open to discussing ballistic missiles.
Yeah, and that would be great. I think a diplomatic solution was international monitoring is much better than this solution, because it goes to the other reality is dropping bombs isn't going to unenrich uranium. You already have just a shit ton of enriched uranium. That's not that technically hard to turn into weapons grade, and you gotta kind of deal with that. Is that, you know, how much is use of force going to delay if the Iranians want to do a nuclear sprint? How much is use of force really going to delay them when they already have as much near bomb capable material as they already have?
You know, Brent, I read somewhere, and I'm not quite sure where, that Americans offered the Iranian regime to actually build at their own expense, American expense, 3 nuclear power plants in Iran and provide the fuel to Iranians in exchange for getting the whatever uranium enrichment material that Iran has to hand it over to some kind of international agency. Iranians did not accept that. So if you don't accept that, if you're saying that I'm producing enriching uranium to build power plants, and first of all, one has to think about, you know, how rich this country is in terms of Iran, in terms of the hydrocarbon reserves, in number 3 or 4 in the world. That's number one. But let's say Iran wants to wear a white environmental hat and say, look, I think fossil fuel is not good, so I need to provide a portion of the energy production in Iran ought to be through nuclear power plants. So this offers was provided to them, and they said no, thank you very much.
So between, yeah, I get it. At least, so between the United States.
Let me just land in here. So that should tell. I'd be grateful if you let me finish. So that should tell you something about the intention of the government. If other countries, particularly America, is willing to provide that at their own cost, American cost, maybe European cost, and Iran is not accepting that, I think one has to scratch, your head and say, look, why not? How come? Go ahead.
Well, thank you. So between 1 second. So between the United States spin, dude, can I talk? So between the United States take on the negotiation, the Iranian take on negotiation, and the mediator take on the negotiation, which is more credible out of those 3?
I would say the least credible would be the Iranian government.
Okay, and between the mediator and the United States?
I don't know. I can't tell you.
Amazing.
Well, I think the mediator take on the negotiation would be the most credible, right? The Omani foreign minister spoke to, right? I have no reason to trust on the state of negotiations United States, right? Because United States keep going into negotiations and then keeps in the middle of negotiations bombing the country, right? So in between those two, I agree that the Iranians, let's say, are the least to be trusted. But between the mediator and the United States, given the behavior of the United States on negotiations and the last, if you remember, 12-day war with Israel, it started also in the middle of negotiation, right? When the United States bombed Iran, right? So, and given all the leaks on the negotiations coming now, that the United States representatives didn't even seem to understand. Washington Post did a reporting on it. Seems the Omani guy has the most credibility out of those, right? The Omani guy said that the nuclear weapon, they have reached basically an agreement. He asked for more days from the United States, went to face the nation, spoke on it, right? Said that basically we have the solution to the nuclear issue. And the other issues, they're open to talking after this is done, including on ballistic weapons.
On negotiations, it's also important to just remind people that it is really the U.S. that has a longstanding inability to stay in a negotiated solution. It was the U.S. that originally left the JCPOA when all parties were essentially in agreement that the Iranians were in compliance with the uranium enrichment targets in the JCPOA, and that if that wasn't the case, there was a mechanism for the United States to kind of show as facts and show that the Iranians were not meeting targets. So I always think it's good to look at things from two perspectives. I hate the perspective of the Iranians. They're religious zealots that harm their people. But if you're looking at it from that perspective, it is the United States that are not trustworthy negotiators.
I question if the two of you actually feel empathy for the people that are suffering.
We do. That's why
He's bringing up some really good points, and it's just interesting the rhetoric that you two have provided in response.
I'm sorry, do you feel empathy for the 108 children that Israeli and US strikes killed? We can do those things either way. Why is your presumed humanitarian illegal bombing campaign is going to...
Oh, I sure do. And I talked to you about Ben Gvir a long time ago, and I'm no fan of his or Netanyahu.
Did any of this? Talking about 180 people that were kids that were killed in Iran.
So you just care about those 108, but you don't care about the 20 to 30,000.
Did I say that?
Lives
or do you infer that somehow?
No, that's what your rhetoric was inferring.
How is my rhetoric
with the question of whether or not I cared about 108 people?
You asked me a similar question yourself.
What's more, 20 to 30,000
you started the
or
who cares
108?
for who? You started the who cares about who comes. So it's
my point
for you?
is that
it is the number of people,
and the rhetoric that's provided by you and Brent seems to not care at all about the suffering.
That's not what they're saying. Yeah, DM you with this.
So just to kind of respond to that briefly, caring about the great suffering that the Iranian regime is doing to its people doesn't mean you do logical things that cause more human suffering. And those things, international politics is a game of cost and benefit. I think the cost of doing what the Trump administration is going to do in terms of human suffering, in terms of U.S. power, are going to be more negative than positive. We'll see if I'm right or wrong. But then to equate that to not feeling empathy for people that are suffering, I just think is a pretty low blow and kind of beneath.
What I've heard is that you hate Trump more than caring about these people.
This is ridiculous. Don't even engage. It's fucking stupid.
Dude, I gotta kick you out, bro. I asked you, dude, to people having a good conversation. We asked you to stop. Please stop. If you don't stop, I'm going to make all of us listen to Totem Pole. I'm going to ping Totem Pole in the room. I'm going to give him the floor for 10 uninterrupted minutes.
Oh, no.
So if you all, I know I will be violating the rules of the Geneva Convention on torture. But if you stop, Alexa, stop. That's the French press. If you don't stop, I'm going to ping in Totem Pole. And he's going to get 10 minutes uninterrupted. Stop. This has nothing to do with Donald Trump. Come on, people having a good conversation. Chill out.
Can I go ahead now that I'm on the app? Excuse me, Ali.
Sure, please.
Let me just, if it's okay, and I don't know if you played the clip. I can now play the clip. It's very brief. It's of Kristen Welker and Lindsey Graham responding to a post that was put up by Trump. It's 30 seconds. May I do it?
Please.
Thank you. Okay. Quote, hopefully the IRGC and police will peacefully merge with the Iranian patriots and work together as a unit to bring back the country to the growth it deserves. Is hope the plan for the future of Iran?
No, the future of Iran is going to be determined by the Iranian people. The new Iran, whatever it is, whether it's a cleric or a representative democracy, our goal is to make sure it cannot become, again, the largest state sponsor of terrorism. That's a win for us. But is there a plan to make sure that happens, Senator? Is there a plan? Does the president have a plan to guarantee that that happens? No, it's not his job or my job to do this. President Trump wrote. That's it. Sorry, I played it.
So I don't think that's too far off base in terms of what Lindsey Graham said. Are we arguing that it's Donald Trump's job to make a determination as to how the Iranian people pass this time of war and into, economic prosperity for them and their kids? Is that Donald Trump's job to do that?
I would argue, as somebody who committed a country to war, it is his responsibility to lay out clear, achievable war aims and articulate them to the American people who are given their children and their treasure. So maybe that's not the war aims. Maybe it is regime change. But for fuck's sake, he should tell us and articulate.
Well, wasn't that what he did on Saturday at 2:30 in the morning when he appealed to the Iranian people to take to the streets and take back their government?
Sure, he did. It did.
Brent, if I could, I would argue that it wasn't the Iranian government and the Ayatollah Khomeini that first incited the possibility of war with the U.S. and with Israel. I think that their enablement and their financing of proxies, Hezbollah, Hamas, Houthis, are the early indications of the interest for war. So I wouldn't think that we would put the onus on the President of the United States to have to provide a definitive outcome for how the people of Iran. He simply needs to suggest, hey, we're putting the ball in your court, and we want you to engage this with the same level of seriousness that it's going to take to remove your current regime, which is a very unpopular regime in the first place.
I mean, when Trump came to the microphone, you're right, he did provide justification, and that justification was regime change. Lindsey Graham came to the microphone and he just said that this is not about regime change, this is about an imminent threat. Obviously Lindsey Graham's not part of the exec, but there seems to be rather confusing messaging about what is the United States actually trying to achieve here. And that messaging, when you're putting blood and treasure on the line, that messaging should be clear. Like, you should go into a war with clear war aims, and that's not too much for the American people to ask.
Well, Brent, I think you know probably better than anybody else.
Say this, TC, real quick. The reason I even played the clip was less about Lindsey Graham. We know what it truly is, and we know what he said. It's more about Trump just freestyling. Maybe the IGRC will merge with the patriots of Iran and work together. That is so fucking ignorant, ridiculous, and yet we're glossing over it because of what Lindsey Graham said. I mean, both things terrible.
So, Brent, I would ask, I'm sure you would know more than anybody else that there's legal considerations for why he has to articulate the purposes of going to war, and then there's also geopolitical considerations. The geopolitical considerations might be different from the legal considerations, but they're not mutually exclusive, or one is not more valid than the other. If he says that I have to prevent an imminent threat to the national security of the United States and our allies, that can be the legal justification. But if he was to continue on and say, And so we expect for the Iranian people to take to the streets and take over their government. That could be a geopolitical consideration. I don't think those two are incongruent. I think it's consistent with historical analysis of how previous presidents have engaged the rhetoric around taking preemptive actions. I would point you to George Bush and Afghanistan and Iraq.
When has a revolution
Afghanistan wasn't preemptive.
with the oppressing power to have a peaceful government?
I'm sorry, I didn't catch your question. What was that?
It wasn't even to you. If you want to respond, it's fine, but just generally. When has a revolution teamed up with an oppressive power?
Well, we know that the United States fueled guns and munitions to what would have been present day the Taliban in Afghanistan when they were warring against the Russians. That might be a horrible example, but it wouldn't be the first time that America supported a less than ideal ally
within the country, within its own country. When has a revolution sided with the oppressing force within the country?
Let me reframe that question.
And it wasn't the Taliban initially either. It was Mujahideen.
Yeah, why are we going to the
I said it was present day. I said it turned into present day Taliban. That's what I said.
Okay, DC. So the question is, in your opinion, is the probability high, low, in between of IRGC in Iran joining the protesters to overthrow the regime?
So I agree with you, liberal. I don't think what Donald Trump intimated as if IRGC was going to lay down their weapons and join the protesters in the street was a viable option. I think he knows that. I think the skilled people in the State Department know that. I think effectively what you're doing is you're giving justification for geopolitical ends. We were talking about a minute ago how the negotiations were fruitless and how you thought that the Oman representative was more credible than the negotiators on behalf of the U.S. And I would agree with you. But what I disagree is I think you have a fundamental misunderstanding of the reason why we were engaging in negotiations in the first place. They weren't to reach a diplomatic end in the first place. They were to buy time.
I agree with you.
Intelligence
I agree with you.
Right. So again, this is subterfuge, and I talked about this a little bit yesterday. I fully expect Trump to engage. Yeah, I agree. But where I think we disagree is I think it's for more noble ends. You don't think it's for noble ends. You asked about the compassion we have for the people that suffer.
No, I did. Ignore that. That was new. Ignore that. That's uninteresting.
Okay. Yeah. Well, the point is that yes, he's engaging in political subterfuge to create the pretext to allow him to continue to engage. I think for a more noble end.
Okay, that's a fair take. I broadly actually have the same read that they're just going with whatever narrative is available to them, and the public justifications are, and the credibility of those public justifications are not their primary aim, right? That's why they're throwing everything at the wall. But again, we're reading tea leaves.
My concern is that we hear far too many people on these stages.
Can you please stop talking over him? Let him complete his thought, okay?
Yeah, but we also, and this is to Trump administration and the Lindsey Graham, right? So it's also fair to look at Lindsey Graham's statements and how they have shifted during before the operation start and after the operation start, which is, I think, the interesting point, right? Lindsey Graham was for regime change before the operation. Now he has slightly shifted his position, it seems. So whether it is a representative of overall administration or whether it's only Lindsey Graham, it's a good question. Again, we're all reading tea leaves. That may be what Brent was alluding to when the government doesn't even bother to communicate to its own people who are sacrificing, as Brent said, blood and treasure, right? To come up with credible scope, credible goal, and credible exit plan, right? None of this is available to American people. You can claim that it's because some legal reasons. I don't know how there would be legal reasons.
Well, that and then immediately retreating also gives, I think, credence to what I was saying earlier is, for the Iranians to win this, they just have to last. Like regime change, maybe this is a hint that they're starting to realize that might not be unrealistic. And if that is unrealistic, eventually, and it was as unpopular as the conflict is started at, it'll become more unpopular, and this will just not be politically feasible in an election.
I agree. I think and this is, again, I don't have any basis of claiming this, but my read currently is that they were expecting the regime to fall in one day. They were expecting even something that how Russia miscalculated with Ukraine, and it's going to fall in 8 days. The United States miscalculated it even worse, expecting that killing the Ayatollah, irrespective of what CIA told them, and released that report in public, right? That is going to be gone in a day, and the protesters will take over the government, storm over the government building, assume the control of the government, and take it over from, and IRGC will join them hand in hand. I think United States strategy has been delusion.
Yeah,
and I think United States, United States is at this point unprepared, wasn't even expecting the range of retaliation that the United States is currently engaged in.
Neoliberal, the French, Macron just announced he's sending the Charles de Gaulle aircraft carrier down there. I think it's the world's largest aircraft carrier, if I'm correct. I think it's even larger than anything. It's a bit.
Israel.
I do not
believe. We were told yesterday Israel is more powerful than France. Aircraft carriers must be bigger than.
Good point. Good point.
But anyway, keep going. Just keep going.
Yeah, but that's the question. When there's an.
Yeah, I'm just agreeing with neoliberal. It's really sad because, honest to God, I'm fully on the side of the Persian people. I think they're really, really nice people, and they hate their government. But I think, it will take troops on the ground. It'll take Canada, USA, UK, and France together, and a 10-year war on the ground to kick out the government there. And I just don't think, I just feel so sad because I think what we're setting up the Persian people for is a huge disappointment.
All right, so I'd like to ask you a question, please, in the queue. Neoliberal, if I can ask a question to you or anybody that actually does study this kind of stuff and has elevated knowledge of it, did you find it peculiar or surprising that Iran has lashed out at all of those other targets instead of, say, focusing on maybe American aircraft carrier or even American bases, but also Israel instead? Because they're lashing out at, we see, like hotels, Bahrain, France, all of that. So I'm wondering if you find that peculiar as a political and military strategy.
It's calculated. In fact, if you do count the missile strikes on all of those things, Israel is not receiving the worst of it. They're receiving regular barrages, which keeps the sirens up and makes people run into the streets. And yes, you do have some dramatic hits and split images, right? But Israel is not the main target.
Breaking news.
Go ahead.
It's right on what you're saying. Missiles just hit Jerusalem. Al Jazeera correspondent there is reporting that an Iranian rocket has made direct contact, made a direct hit on the city of Jerusalem. This was 3 minutes ago.
Oh, wow.
That's crazy.
Let me finish what I'm saying.
There's all these live feeds. I saw Tel Aviv just got hit.
Let neoliberal talk, please.
Yeah. So Tel Aviv is getting hit, but Iran this time around seems to have calculated that Israelis have the will to withstand those things for a prolonged time. They don't have similar political costs and similar readiness to United States. and the U.S. allies in the region, right? The U.S. allies in the region and the United States don't have the same political capacity to withstand this type of fire as Israel does. So Iran has judged that Israel is a stronger element, and it has that's why it has concentrated its fire on the bases and the U.S. allies in the region, and is also extending it slowly to Europeans.
So if I can opine on
They
that.
have explicitly, one second, they have explicitly stated it. They haven't really escalated it to the utmost that they can take it yet. That is the implicit threat in what they're doing, also with the closure of the Hormuz, that they're going to strike oil infrastructure next.
Yeah, you're right. Neoliberal, like.
Let me just respond here. I largely agree with neoliberal, but I think there's an additional consideration as well. I think it's a legal one. I think Iran has calculated that they don't want to trigger a justification for a self-defense response from the United States, which is why they decided not to strongly target aircraft carriers and that type of thing, because they understand that if their actions or their responses triggers a legitimate justification for a self-defense response, and it gives Trump administration, plays right into their hands, a pretext to engage in all-out war, as opposed to this limited campaign.
What do you mean by all-out war, though? Like, can you expand on that?
Yeah, I mean, boots on the ground. I mean...
Okay, there's no fucking way anybody's taking over Iran.
Okay, neoliberal, I have a follow-up question, if I may. A follow-up question. So do you think also on one hand, like Iran is saying, hey, we can hit all of these places, so just so you know what our capabilities are, because the other side of it is, why would you do that and then galvanize the other Middle Eastern countries against you? I'm just trying to figure that out as a strategy. And I understand, I appreciate your take on Israel and why and what they're willing to.
Yeah, Scotty, I think to tie it to what TC was saying, I actually agree. I think there is, while this is part where American analysts are still not catching up, the Iranian regime is now treating this as the next, weeks, hours is going to last, as the final stand and the final survival. Either the regime dies or this is existential for them at this point, right? So they are ready to unleash everything they can, and they're going to go up the escalation ladder, but they are not going there immediately. So I agree with TC. They are not really going to go for, let's say, a tanker that's going to create a mass casualty event that is going to drive in United States even more. But that doesn't mean they're not going to escalate slowly, right?
Neoliberal, if it's existential, there's no doubt that they'll sink all the aircraft carriers, because they can. It's proven they can.
It's existential, but that doesn't mean they are suicidal, right? It is existential for them, but their aim of how to win this is not only to survive, as Brent said, but reestablish, not only outlast, but to reestablish deterrence. To the moment they make United States and the U.S. allies that are going to be calling United States to stop this, right? To feel pain.
Yeah,
so
they're bad.
Stop this.
Their bad is that the American public and the European public will collapse before the regime collapses. Yeah.
Okay, give me a second. I'll wrap it up and then you can respond. So there is something to what TC is saying. Deterrence cannot be, there is a balancing act in there, right? Like if they overplay their hand and sink a U.S. carrier, that makes their problem worse, right? So the escalation ladder, we're going up on it. The problem with this is, of course, this can backfire and accidents happen, and this may escalate into a much larger war. But the United States has taken it here.
So I would dispute that they have the technical capability to take down a carrier. Those carriers, are protected by, the SM systems are pretty capable ballistic missile systems, and also it is a lot technically easier to kind of hit a area target with a ballistic missile, say launch one towards Jerusalem or launch one towards a U.S. base versus a kind of a relatively small maritime target like a carrier. So I don't put much faith in the ability of the Iranians to secure.
I mean, there's no doubt that the Iranians can create a fucking massive mess. All you have to do is even just threaten the Gulf states with a bit of chaos, and then they lose trillions of dollars of investment, right? Like last time I was in Dubai, it's all about outside investment. Dubai is like, I think 80% of the money comes from the outside world. It's people investing, tax havens, vacationing. There's like a million Russians just on the one beach where I was staying, right? They're all outside investing, and all Iran has to do is make it an unattractive place. Everybody pulls out the money because they think it's, yeah.
Scotty, if you're on stage, I can see. Is he here?
Oh yeah, I'm here.
Yeah.
Yeah, this was from Al Jazeera. So they just basically said that Trump, I put it in the chat. So sorry, Trump, sorry about that. Trump opened to talks with new Iranian leader. White House official has told Al Jazeera that Trump is open to talks with new leadership following the killing of the Ayatollah.
Nah, it's the pressure he's getting from the Gulf states. They're calling him up saying, hey, make a deal,
Yeah, you don't need to 2 cents everything. You know what I mean? Let the conversation flow. You don't have to respond.
No, I think this is exactly what I said yesterday. I think this is the same play. I get excited when I hear stuff like that because I said this, I called this out yesterday. It's the same play we did in Venezuela. Watch what I tell you. Trump is very predictable. It's pattern recognition. He's going to do the same thing he did in Venezuela, and it's highly effective. That's my bet.
How is it effective?
I just told you that they hit Jerusalem. Like they hit a hotel in Dubai. Not Dubai. Where was the hotel? Bahrain. I forgot the name. The
airport in Dubai.
There are American soldiers dead. This is a lot different.
No, it is different. I'm not saying that it's not different. But I'm saying the strategy is the same. And I'm saying effectively what you do is you remove the senior leadership, you raise the stakes, and you offer an olive branch to whoever comes in and create a puppet relationship, but an amicable, attractive relationship, if you will, with the leadership. Because guess what? At the end of the day, United States and Israel is going to keep the pressure up until they become satisfied. And that's the obligation of this new leader, whoever this is. I don't think it's coming from the IRGC. I honestly believe it's some sort of civilian leadership that could be in place here.
You're ridiculous, man.
Oh, that's crazy.
You just exposed yourself like,
insane to me.
God. Some civilian? Is he going to be from Clubhouse?
You realize that the IRGC is like a million or more people, bro.
Okay, maybe one time.
How many of you guys want to bet? I've been right, like legit, like so many times.
No one is gonna take you on a bet. You're not serious, bro. We're having a serious conversation. Can we?
Come on, revisit in a week and let's see how serious the conversation was. And
we don't care. Go bet on the poly market. We don't give a shit.
So I think what TC actually suggesting here is not far-fetched. By doing what Trump did in Venezuela, I don't think they in the U.S. had in mind the representative democracy in Venezuela. The whole idea was about the oil and constraining the China's access to Venezuela oil. And that has been accomplished. So if they can do the same thing with Iran and have some level of control over the production of the oil and distribution of the oil, I think that would be pretty much a pretty clever strategy to sustain or to control the energy in form of oil and gas. Particularly, when I say gas, I'm talking about LNG, liquefied natural gas, going to China. That's not a necessarily bad strategy. So in a sense, And Tilty is not, off track in here.
Just how he thinks there's going to be a regime change.
Wait.
Well,
Please don't argue with them. Let them sell themselves on this narrative. This would be a great outcome for all our sakes. Yes, there would be a new government in Tehran, and it's going to be an ally of the United States, and the war is going to be
That's not what I said. That's not what I said.
It will be.
Don't mischaracterize what I said, but respectfully, that's not what I said.
That's what you said.
Hold on. Don't mischaracterize what I said. If you don't mind, I'd like to be able to represent what I said. I think the recordings are on, no? Okay, well they're not. Well, that's fine. I'll put the line in the sand here and make it very clear. Okay. Under no circumstances am I expecting this thing to fizzle out to like roses and cherries and rainbows in a week's time. That's not what I'm suggesting. What I'm suggesting is this is the same play that we see in Venezuela. Remember, after Trump took Maduro, Venezuela's President Diego, vice president, now president this time, went out and called out Rodriguez. Thank you. I'm really bad with names. You'll know that about me. Then I think you're bad. I'm horrible with names. Just forgive me. But you'll remember that Rodriguez came out and completely eviscerated the Trump administration. Okay, condemned their actions and said Venezuela will rise from the ashes to that effect. And then what was she seen doing like a month and a half later? She was seen walking around with oil executives in Venezuela, American oil executives in Venezuela. They have to play this game. So what I'm saying is that you guys can disagree with me. I mean, this wouldn't be the first time.
What oil executive?
This wouldn't be the first time that I was right. I'm arguing that I wouldn't put it past what's the strategy, being that they set up a civilian leader, okay? A civilian leader to represent negotiations for Iran, to appease the United States, and allows the United States to create an amicable relationship. I never said an ally, liberal. Yeah, I know what you do. You're good at it. But I never said an ally.
Okay, sure.
Amicable relationship that allows for the IRGC to maintain their power. Sure. Okay, but it also allows for there to be a negotiation buffer between the IRGC and Iran without confrontation and bloodshed.
So they keep their nuclear ambitions. They keep their ballistic weapons.
Of course not. It's an interim arrangement that allows for the normalization.
So you believe that the United States has increased their leverage or
100%
decreased their leverage?
100% increased.
So why is the United States now reaching out to Iranians?
Because it's the same playbook. It's the same. We are actually. Wait. Okay, why are you saying America's not? 100% America is. American intelligence have been liaising with opposition forces in Iran.
Which opposition forces?
So are you going to betray the opposition?
Turn on the fucking internet in Iran.
So you're going to betray
anything for the people.
Hold on. How do you think we got our intelligence in the first place?
From the opposition? You're a moron.
From Mossad.
I know.
I believe there are at least two Iranian generals that are spies for the United States.
Spies. Yeah, that's the point. That's what I'm called. That's what they're called. So
they're not opposition.
They are opposition. They are opposition.
Okay.
That's not how that works.
So here's the thing, right? What I'm gonna do, and I'm gonna go ahead and mute up because I see the temperature in the room rising a little bit, and that happens when I seem to speak. And that's okay. But I'm gonna do. I'll ask you a question. What are you gonna say next week when it comes out that there's a civilian leader that's leading the negotiations in Iran? What are you gonna say then? How stupid I am?
No, I'll eat a pork chop. Hold on. I'll respond. I'll eat a pork chop. And
wait, I'm going to stop you. The civilian leader is the leader of the country.
Yeah,
he's a civilian leader.
He's a civilian leader. What do you mean, a civilian leader?
He doesn't know that.
Yes.
That's the problem.
Yes,
he doesn't know.
Yeah, I do know, and you're the one that don't know.
You literally just called Delcy Rodriguez President Diego.
This man knows nothing about Persian culture.
What are we doing here? I thought we were having a gentlemanly conversation.
The civilian leader will lead a conversation like it would be a change. It's already
Mama Do said.
Yo, stop
that
calling
it wasn't
me
a
that. What is
civilian
wrong with you,
leader.
dude? I'm Lord
It wasn't a
Balfour,
civilian.
dummy.
Okay, so again, are we going to go back to having a gentleman conversation, or are we going to go back to name calling?
See, the United States hasn't even put in free internet for the Persian people. The United States hasn't been able to do anything for them at all. What are you talking about?
Imagine calling Delcy Rodriguez President Diego, and now you're telling us about a civilian government.
My lord, give me a second. Let's let TC finish so that temperature doesn't rise in the room. TC, please, just focus on your point.
Not even 2 minutes ago, when I said it would be a civilian leadership that leads the negotiation with the U.S., Mamadou came off mic screaming and hollering, talking about how stupid TC was.
TC, can I get your point? Because you were wrong. You just,
Yeah. I think I've made my point, and we'll let the conversation grow organically.
All right. I think the reason that Trump is actually coming back and possibly meeting with these people is probably pressure from the Gulf states who have like zero fucking of their own defenses. They have nothing. They're holiday resorts. They've got a lot of money invested in Washington. They've got close friends there. Dubai, Qatar, all these countries are coming to Washington saying, hey, calm down. You're chasing away all of our trillions of dollars in investment. That's what's happening.
TC, I will agree with you, right? And no need for a bet, but I'm interested. So I would agree with you if outcome of this, whatever government is in place, whoever the leader is, if they substantially limit their ballistic program, right? You would be right? I currently don't believe that it's going to be on the table, right? And that will communicate to me that the United States actually lost leverage rather than gained, right? So that would be because if United States manages to disarm Iran, right, your narrative would be not cope, not a narrative that the United States is going to tell itself to spin the domestic narrative, but it would be actually true. If United States manages to substantially limit the ballistic weapons of Iran, I would agree with you. I don't believe it's going to happen.
Okay, great. I love that because that at least creates an environment through which we can see how Donald Trump can be effective in this strategy, right? So I would argue in response to that we don't get there first. What I would argue is we first get to regime change. Okay?
What regime change? Define regime change.
Let me explain. Okay? We first get to regime change, which again is some sort of buffer, call it like tribunal or some sort of like committee, whatever it's going to be, right? I don't know exactly.
Something that is outside of currently existing procedure, some other procedure?
It could be some sort of amalgamation of various different representatives from the region that share the interests. It could be Qatar.
I'm sorry to interrupt. I'm just trying to
what I'm saying is there's
make the lines clear. They currently have a process of 3 people: Pederskan, the judicial lawyer, and the other guy, I forget. They are going to select a new supreme leader. And so they have a process. You mean some process outside this process? Some other process?
No. We don't have to disagree as often as we used to. This can certainly be the case. But I'm just laying out the case for how it would happen, okay? There's effectively some interim motion that creates an amicable situation between the United States and Iran that allows for there to be a proper installation of a new government that is able to negotiate with the U.S. outside of contentious and like.
That's what Trump already not doing it. Trump is negotiated with Pederskan. Israel said that they are negotiating with Pederskan without any. Do you think they're going to negotiate with Pederskan on basically?
I'm going to be honest with you.
You're going to destroy.
I'm going to be honest.
Pederskan is the current president. Do you think their negotiation will be you're going to step down? And,
I don't know. Honestly, I don't know. what I'm saying is the play is very similar to what we saw as. And this is how he is saying.
TC, you're losing me. I'm trying to get specifics, and
I don't have specifics. I'm not going to be able to predict specifics. And I think
okay, a shape of specifics, like not names of people. There is currently a succession plan, Article 111 of their constitution, through which those three people select a new supreme leader, right? Trump and Israelis already said they are going to be negotiating with Pezeshkian, who's a civilian, right? He's not IRGC. He's also a reformist. The old government before the war started were reformists, by the way. So that is the same regime, right? So if your constraints on America wins is that there is going to be a new regime, right? Not these people, but they're going to concede that they're going to hold some other process with involvement of Arab states or whoever, and there's going to be transition to other form of government, right? Is that what you're saying?
What I'm saying is that the way it currently exists is an untenable situation for the United States to negotiate with Iran as long as we're on a war footing. And the Trump administration strategy, right? Let me just finish it. And we're not going to have specifics here. We're not even 48 hours out from the initial strikes, right? More than 72 hours out from the initial strikes. So I'm not going to have specifics, right? We're all postulating here. But based on what we can discern from Trump's successful efforts in terms of destabilizing and then stabilizing again, is that he's going to erect an interim government entity. I don't know if it's a committee, tribunal, whatever it is, right? That's going to create amicable environment for negotiations. Now, what I think could potentially happen, and is also likely, is that we resolve that there will be no more supreme leadership in Iran, and that it won't fall to pure democracy, and they will retain their democratic model with the president. But it has to be a president that is, again, open to negotiations with the U.S. and Israel, and one that can commit to at least creating a pretext for negotiations.
Okay,
and that's
so I just wanted you to tease this. 1 second, I'll wrap it up. So thank you for teasing that out. You heard the conditions for what TC will consider the amicable solution. Let's see if it materializes. I believe the probability of that materializing is very low.
So TC, I think Neil making a good point. So right now, as we know, there is this committee comprised of the current president of Iran and the chief justice of Iranian legal system, and also a popular member of the Assembly of Experts. Their job is twofold. One is to provide leadership for Iran in the absence of having the supreme leader, which is dead. Second is they are being tasked with the responsibility in the Constitution, as Neil correctly mentioned, Section 111, elect a leader for the government. So the process itself is kind of in place. Unfortunately, that's just the way it is. The whole system has been rigged. So outside of this, if U.S. is negotiating with Pezeshkian, who is the president of Iran, in what form or shape he is going to get the support from the current apparatus of Iranian government, or the people actually, to support him, put him in a position that he's going to be able to, in a credible way, to represent Iranian government and negotiate with U.S. So when we talk about a regime change, there is a good question. What do we mean, actually? What is that is all about? Is it doing away completely with Islam?
Yes, doing away completely with the supreme leader. There will be no more supreme leader in Iran. So if you want to wrap your arms around this neoliberal, that's what my position would be.
Sure, I understand. So I think if the idea is to have a civilian, I think when you say civilian, I take it in a way of separation of church and state, having a civilian which is free from theological ideology.
Yes.
Yes. So that would be a good aim to have. If a leader is going to commit to that and having something resembling our establishment clause in the First Amendment, yeah, that probably makes sense. But I'm not quite sure what this regime change, what we talk about. How would it? What is the mechanism actually to bring? Who would replace this current regime? And I don't know. So the question by Neil, it's a good one. Although I disagree with some of the things that he's saying, but it's a legitimate question. Legitimate question when we ask the regime change. What is that?
That's why I said, yeah, if he wants to wrap his arms around my prediction, if you will, and I use that term lightly, because again, we're all just speculating here. But yes,
please pause. Not wrapping my arms around anything.
Pause. But yeah, I think if you were to try and
hey, TP, just a quick number.
Yeah, real quick. Let me just.
10% of the people in Iran work for the government.
I got you. So if you want to lock me down on something, I would say yes. That civilian leadership looks like not a supreme leader. No new election of a new supreme leader. I think I can get behind that.
Yeah.
Because I think that's consistent with what I've been saying before, which is that that America won't accept another supreme leader, another religious zealot to lead the country down the same war path that it's been on for the last 45 years.
But to be fair to you, you started with Delcy Rodriguez, and now you yourself talk yourself into something that is completely different from Delcy Rodriguez.
So what I wanted to know,
it wasn't Delcy, it was President Diego.
What I wanted to do was build on the conversation I was having yesterday with you guys, which I did reference Rodriguez and what happened in Venezuela. And what I said was, and you guys were in the room when I said it, is the reason why you
see, the more you talk and the dumber you sound. Shut the fuck up.
Okay, people don't like when I engage TC. I'm gonna stop.
Yeah, please stop engaging him, man.
Yeah, for the people serious about having a good faith conversation, neoliberals stated something about the fact that Pezeskian, who brother TC did not know who he was, yet has organs, was a reformist. Now, there is a part where a hardliner swoop in, they have a supreme leader who's a hardliner, and then all of a sudden says, you know what, we're going to stick a middle finger to all these reformists, so-called moderates, and then it's just going to be a government full of hardliners. What is he going to do then? And who are we to sit here and tell the Iranians that we're going to dictate what kind of a system they're going to have moving forward?
I would love to see them, Lord, I'd love to see the fucking, their government's horrible. It would literally take like 5-6 European countries, Canada, the United States, a bunch of people 10 years on the ground to kick the fucking, to change their government. The only other hope would be literally every single Iranian person gets on the street and just goes out with sticks and stones and massacres 10% of the population. Those are the only, it's such a horrific situation, bro.
Yeah, and I think you guys get that wrong. You don't need an all-out uprising from the people. All you need is to sufficiently fracture the existing leadership such that
listen, okay, just listen to me for a second, bro. Listen to me for a second. Listen to me for a second. TC, listen to me for a second very carefully. The United States and various other countries has been trying to do this for 45 fucking years. They've been trying to undermine and destroy the government of Iran for 45 years. I hate the government there. They're evil. It's not that easy when you have literally 10% of the population belongs and is employed by the government, right? So if you have 1 in 10 people acting as spies, people you can't trust, it's a complete revolution of everything. It's not just, it's saying like, oh, if you want to completely change the United States of America from ground up, all you have to do is get rid of Trump, right? Imagine that. That's all you have to do.
So,
no, dude.
So what I've said
Stop
before,
speaking, bro.
This is not an insult to you or anybody else, right? But I do genuinely believe
you're insulting
that
us.
That your dislike for Donald Trump, okay, fogs your
I'm trying. I don't care about Trump. I don't care.
Hold on.
I don't care.
I think you do.
Dude, are you trolling? Are you trolling right now?
And I think that's
are you fucking trolling right now?
Rationality.
Are you trolling right now?
100%.
Are you trolling?
That would be
Are you trolling? Seriously.
fracture that creates.
Neil, can you please kick this dude out of here? This is insane.
It's not up to me. This is on the stage. Do whatever you want to do.
So,
For
the
humor,
best
let me just suggest another, Danny,
I think the best strategy moving forward, if you disagree in these rooms, is to just cry Trump derangement syndrome and beat up.
Well, how many times has Trump been right though? Let's just be honest.
If you don't mind. So here's another possibility, and this happens quite often in the military ranks. There is many times there are coup d'états. There's a possibility that a very ambitious, high-ranking officer.
Well, I hope you're right.
Coup d'état. Well, yeah. Let me just finish it here. So having could be possibly an individual in military who was more of a kind of a liberal leaning and not being necessarily a hardcore Muslim, to have a coup d'etat and take over the government for a period of time, which we call transitional period or maybe provisional government, and provide some space and room for people to regroup and decide how they want to move forward. The problem with this approach is, which is possible, I would say, I don't know, but it's possible. It's been done before. But the problem is these generals, they come on board and become leaders of the country. They don't leave, they stay. They stay on for decades on. So that is one possibility. So it does not have to be boots on the ground, and it does not have to be 10 years of a war against Iran with people, the Western countries to be, in Iran. So there are other possibilities too. But we might be surprised actually what may unfold. I don't know what, but hopefully the less blood, the better it's going to be.
But Ali, I mean, what concrete steps has the United States taken to literally, like very, very concrete steps have they done to support the people of Iran? Because the people there don't even have internet now. We can't even get them internet.
Well, the concrete support,
like very specific concrete support.
I am not quite sure if the United States government really have the best interest of Iranian people in mind.
There you go. It's very sad.
Let me just finish it here. What if, and I think Venezuela is a good example, which TC actually presented here.
Please don't bring up.
Hold on a second. Okay, what if that an Iranian government now would concede to satisfy the Americans' concerns, which is ballistic missiles, nuclear program, cutting out the proxy wars in the region, and maybe cut out on the Strait of Hormuz. If they agree on it, that's just in principle. So it is, if they agree with that, but they could continue terrorizing their own people. Would America walk away? So the point that I'm trying to make here, Perfumer, that it is possible that probably the interest of having the interest of Iranian people is not necessarily on the top of the list for the American or Western countries, but the other four that I just mentioned probably are more important. And one could say, hey, that kind of makes sense. What is best for the US?
But what steps would they take?
I just don't understand why we're comparing this to Venezuela. Like,
don't
Venezuela the thing. They're like two fucking different countries.
So what let me just clear. The steps that they have been taking is steps that we see now. I mean, Perfumer, he left already, or somebody.
No, I'm here.
Oh, you're okay, good. So these are the steps that we see that the U.S. has taken with Israel. That would be the step in the right direction.
The reason I'm asking is because you're from there, right?
Well, look, Perfumer, I just made the point that the freedom of Iranian people from the terrorist activities of their own regime may not be at all on the top of the list of the American agenda for this war. So you are just making the case of so you're telling me what U.S. is doing to help the Iranian people. Again, that may not be even on the top of the list.
Right. But I mean, this is what, Trump was declaring. He's saying, okay, Iranian people go to the streets, you're free now, which is like insane, right? You must agree with me that. How would we actually get guns into the hands of the average person? Because the only people that have guns in Iran are the people that work for the government, right? And that's like 10% of the population, and they're willing and they're free to kill 90% of the people. right? And they will never get in trouble for killing the average citizen, not typically, right? So if you have 10%, imagine that. Imagine you had a really evil United States, right? And then 10% of the people work for the government. They're the only people with the guns. How is an outside force going to come and liberate us, right? That's the problem.
Hold on, Matt had breaking news. Go ahead, Matt. Sorry.
In a new pre-recorded address to the nation, Trump says military operation in Iran will continue until, quote, all our objectives are achieved. Could be a month, could be longer. And then he also says there will be more U.S. service members to die. He says that's the way it is. And then he says that America will avenge their deaths. So
do we have that audio? Can we actually hear it as opposed to just?
I'm reading what's through the transcript. I'm not, also TC, I don't like you, so if you ask, I'm not gonna also do that.
Nobody on the stage likes me, right? So
I like you, TC.
Including yourself. You don't like yourself.
Come on. This is not related, but it is breaking news. This guy got sentenced to 16 years in prison for attempting to frame an illegal immigrant with death threats against Trump and another 9/11. I don't know if you guys remember this story. This was a story that Kristi Noem and DHS was going around saying that illegal immigrants wanted to kill Donald Trump. I don't know if you remember this. And also blow up America. And it was a guy who had a beef with someone who he thought was an illegal immigrant. And they found out that actually was a citizen that did it. And they found out he made up the story.
So,
one way they knew he made up the story was because the other guy doesn't speak or write in English.
Stop.
This was one of the stories that DHS was running around talking about illegal immigrants want to kill Americans. And it was an American who did it. He got 16 years in federal prison. Matt, I can play it if you don't want to.
Yeah, Ben,
where can I find it?
I don't have the link to it. I just read the transcript.
Okay.
Let me see. Where is it at? I mean, this is 5 minutes. Actually, it's on X, the whole video. 5 minutes and 32 seconds.
They just put
some of these other things.
I can play it.
Go ahead, Neil. Thank you very much.
Over the past 36 hours, the United States and its partners have launched Operation Epic Fury, one of the largest, most complex, most overwhelming military offensives the world has ever seen. Nobody's seen anything like it. We have hit hundreds of targets in Iran, including Revolutionary Guard facilities, Iranian air defense systems. Just now, it was announced that we knocked out 9 ships plus their naval building, all in a matter of literally minutes. Iran's formerly supreme leader, Ayatollah Khamenei, is dead. This wretched and vile man had the blood of hundreds and even thousands of Americans on his hands and was responsible for the slaughter of countless thousands of innocent people all across many countries. Last night, all over Iran, the voices of the Iranian people could be heard cheering and celebrating in the streets when his death was announced. The entire military command is gone as well, and many of them want to surrender into saving their lives. They want immunity. They're calling by the thousands. Combat operations continue at this time in full force, and they will continue until all of our objectives are achieved. We have very strong objectives. They could have done something 2 weeks ago, but they just couldn't get there. Earlier today, CENTCOM shared the news that 3 U.S. military service members have been killed in action. As one nation, we grieve for the true American patriots who have made the ultimate sacrifice for our nation, even as we continue the righteous mission for which they gave their lives. We pray for the full recovery of the wounded and send our immense love and eternal gratitude to the families of the fallen. And sadly, there will likely be more. Before it ends, that's the way it is. Likely be more, but we'll do everything possible where that won't be the case. but America will avenge their deaths and deliver the most punishing blow to the terrorists who have waged war against basically civilization. They have waged war against civilization itself. Our resolve, and likewise that of Israel, has never been stronger. America is now again the richest, most powerful nation in the world by far. But the only reason we enjoy the quality of life that we do and the freedom and security is we have done things that others are unable to do. But it's because of warriors who are willing to lay down their lives to do battle with our enemies. And they do battle better than anybody. An Iranian regime armed with long-range missiles and nuclear weapons would be a dire threat to every American. We cannot allow a nation that raises terrorist armies to possess such weapons that would allow them to extort the world to their evil will. We're not going to let it happen. We're not happening to us, and we're not going to let it happen to others. The United States has the strongest military the world has ever seen. I rebuilt our military in my first term. There's never been a military like we possess. And frankly, there's nobody even close, but we are now using that military for good. We want to have it for good purpose. We're undertaking this massive operation not merely to ensure security for our own time and place, but for our children and their children, just as our ancestors have done for us many, many years ago. This is the duty and the burden of a free people. These actions are right and they are necessary to ensure that Americans will never have to face a radical, bloodthirsty terrorist regime armed with nuclear weapons and lots of threats. For almost 50 years, these wicked extremists have been attacking the United States while chanting the slogan, "Death to America" or "Death to Israel" or both. They are the world's #1 state sponsor of terror. We are the world's greatest and most powerful nation, so we can do something about what they do. These intolerable threats will not continue any longer. I once again urge the Revolutionary Guard, the Iranian military, police, to lay down your arms and receive full immunity or face certain death. It will be certain death. Won't be pretty. I call upon all Iranian patriots who yearn for freedom to seize this moment, to be brave, be bold, be heroic, and take back your country. America is with you. I made a promise to you, and I fulfilled that promise. The rest will be up to you, but we'll be there to help. Thank you. God bless you to our incredible warriors, and God bless the United States of America. Thank you.
So the rest is up to you. With your sticks and fucking rocks.
I'm gonna say this: if something
take
happens
over the
to my
government.
cousin Charles or Tiffany, who are currently
TC will lead them.
I got something waiting for you, motherfucking MAGAs who are fucking praising this shit. If something happens to my fucking cousins, I will fuck some of you MAGA motherfuckers up. So let's hope and thoughts and prayers together for y'all's fucking sake, bitch. How about that, MAGA?
I haven't said much during this whole shit. I've just been listening for a couple days, but when you hear him speaking the way he's speaking, right, some of you guys may have to die, but that's a sacrifice I'm willing to make. Right? I, the 6-time draft dodger, am willing to make. Right? And then directly after talking about the honorable death of soldiers that have shown their allegiance to a country by making an sacrifice, and to follow that up with we're the richest country ever. As if there's a direct correlation. I don't know if you guys follow the logic in that speech writing pattern, right? First we talk about the death of honorable soldiers that contributed their fucking lives to this fucking country, right? To their loyalty to this country led to their demise, right? And then we directly correlate that with, but we're the richest country ever. I yield, bro.
And I have somebody, by the way, Gemini, And I had somebody trying to tell me I stated the transcript of what he said. Well, play it. Did he say? He didn't say it. He said it. That's what Trump said. He doesn't give a fuck about any of our brothers, sisters, cousins, aunts, uncles, relatives, friends, loved ones being sent off and being killed by this disgusting ass, retarded ass motherfucking terror plot him and his butt boy BB are doing in fucking Israel. Who, by the way, I heard left Israel to go hide because he's a pussy. He starts shit and then runs off and hides, right? These motherfuckers don't give a fuck if our family members fucking die. And then you have his sycophants praising this bullshit as if this is exactly what should happen. And by the way, a week ago tweeted, Cuba will be next. This is mentally fucking retarded. These people are so, and I really don't understand why we want to have conversations with them. They are not worth oxygen. They are not worth our thoughts. These people are scum of the fucking earth. If you want a fucking war so bad, a lot of you bitch-ass, bitch-made MAGA need to go fucking enlist. Go take your BB guns and go fight for your king and leave us the fuck out of it. Go fuck yourselves. Total cunt. I'll pass the mic to you. Go ahead and spew your little pussy-ass lot.
Thank you for that introduction. I don't claim to...
What the fuck are you laughing at, Ann?
Yeah, fuck you, Ann, too. You Lebanese white bitch.
Gemini, I'd like to respond. I hear what you're saying, and like I understand that it's difficult to speak dispassionately, especially when passions are so. But I think logic requires it, at least in this, because we are talking about dead, deceased service members that paid the ultimate sacrifice because they trust their government and they trust. You don't give a shit about. And here's the thing, right? I'm with you. Like, I can be upset and pissed off, and I'm also upset and pissed off that this happened. I was hoping that no service members would have died, and that's not the case.
Sure, you're not going to lose any sleep over it, bro. Keep it about.
So, and I was devastated, honestly, when I heard of it. It was like, great, this is just like Venezuela. So it's working out the way I had hoped, and that's not the case. So I share your grief and your pain. But with that being said, we know that former presidents have said the same thing when we engage in armed. We know it's an inevitability, and this is a job. It's probably.
Shut up, TC.
Thank you, Grandpa. Salute to all the veterans and to any active duty in the room, man.
This combatant commanders didn't want this to go. So what the fuck is you talking about, TC? Shut the fuck up. You know what? The SecDef, they plan for this type of shit. If this is what the president wants, they plan for it and they give him the worst case scenario and the best case scenarios. But they tell them what their recommendations is. He has been it's been in the papers that they were fighting back and forth. You stupid motherfuckers. And you come off the fucking mic laughing like this shit is funny.
No, they don't care. MAGA doesn't care about
it. Get your goddamn food stamps and stay on me.
She's fickle-minded.
Why do you guys look so hateful? You think that I don't.
You're hateful. It just happens. He just nonchalantly threw out that American soldiers died. That's just the way it is.
Why don't you
It doesn't matter. It sounded like he was quoting Tupac at that point.
It was in a
You guys ran on. Hold on. Y'all ran on no new wars, right? That you got people in administration. He even is only a president who can't negotiate would bomb Iran. That's it. Tulsi Gabbard, no new wars. The whole thing y'all said, well, one thing Trump did that nobody else did was not get us into new wars.
Kamala was sending your son to war.
They made lawn signs that said Kamala will send your kids to war.
That's exactly what they did.
Brent, what are you talking about? This is a different scenario. You know the operational plan to change based on what's going on. The current CENTCOM command said this is not the time. You cannot go into that country right now.
Same motherfuckers up.
Come off the mic, Brent.
Oh yeah, Brent, I'll put your mic up. Come on, boy.
Huh? Brent said.
I worked at CENTCOM, clown.
I thought y'all liked Brent.
Fuck Brent at this point. He's they did not want this time.
The same people talking about Benghazi, that talks about Benghazi during Hillary's election, are the same motherfuckers talking about who gives a fuck about 3 servicemen dying, who gives a fuck about people dying in Austin, Texas at a bar, who gives a fuck about more death being on the way. Y'all are some pathetic ass fake Americans. I say it all the time. Move the fuck to Russia. I might not like America, but guess what? I definitely like the people that defend the country, that allow us to walk around, talk around, that allow me the opportunity to cuss y'all out on a motherfucking Clubhouse app. I love my fucking freedoms that I do have, bitch. And I love the people that defend said freedoms. I love my cousin Charles. I love my cousin Tiffany. I love the people that are definitely trying to make something of themselves, while also being able to defend the fucking country, bitch. Y'all don't give a fuck. It's all political fodder for you pussy ass Libya, Lebanon looking white bitches named Ann, total cunt named TC who's a fake Dominican, and all the rest of you motherfuckers. Fuck you. I'm sick of y'all. Get a BB gun, take y'all ass to Dick's Sporting Good, ask for one, and then take y'all's boats and take y'all's ass out there and help. Because y'all want to burn y'all's mouth so fucking badly and act like none of this is a big deal. Let's put your lives on the fucking line. How about that, bitch? Why don't you go down there in Austin and see if we can defend more people from getting shot up by motherfucking crazy ass terrorists, motherfucking police? Why don't we do that, bitch?
Oh, you're so tough. You
I am tough, bitch. And like I said last time I talked to you, I will get you beat up by my teacher. You will get beat the fuck up by a real nigga. How about that?
Oh,
so at least you will beat you up. You will understand what it's like to get beat down by somebody from Detroit. You will get beat and bitch. Yeah, anime, eat the cake, anime, not eat the cake, anime, right, bitch? You're gonna be eating all kind of cake when I'm done with your big, funky, nasty, white ass, bitch. You're gonna be back in your country, picking motherfucking whatever the fuck form of cotton is over there, bitch. You gonna understand our plight, you slow, ugly ass, degenerate, bleach blonde bitch. Fuck you. You wanna look white so bad, don't you, sand nigga? Don't you, bitch? You a nigga too. Sand nigga ass man. Shut up, bitch. Fuck.
Hey, Ali, I have a question for you. A bit of a change here. My question is, like, do you think, let's say, if all of us, Canada included, likely looks like it's going that way, my country, United States, UK, France, if hypothetically, and it seems this way again, we bomb the fuck out of all the infrastructure, the military infrastructure of Iran, do you think, I'm asking from a moral point of view, and you're from Iran, so I'd like to know your perspective. Do we have a responsibility to put troops on the ground? And because, I mean, I could just imagine if we bomb the crap out of all the military installations in Iran, then the people, they get brave, and they go in and they try to take their country back, but tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands, and maybe millions of them are killed by their government. Do we have a responsibility to go in there and save them, from your point of view?
Okay, 2 comments. One is, you mentioned some time ago that 10% of the population, the military, IRG.
That's just the research I did. Not IRGs, I mean government.
Yeah, okay, well, but I checked this out. Actually, the IRGC, which is the most effective, robust military in Iran, they actually constitute only 0.25.
Yeah. 200,000 people, yeah.
A quarter percentage of the population. So it's not as if 10 million soldiers with guns.
Right.
Okay, so
right. Okay.
And I know you probably did not mean that, but I think we ought to be a little bit careful about what we say here. So, but nevertheless, 200,000 soldiers fully committed to the government with all of the weapons that they need to have. It's a force to reckon with. I don't care how many millions of people are opposing them. So that's, you're making a point, but the numbers that you gave, they're not good. Now, the responsibility of the United States, I think I talked about 3 scenarios. One would be basically limiting, postponing, or removing the threat to some extent, not entirely, but substantially. Second would be removing the regime change. And I don't really know what that really means, entails. We had a discussion here about it. And the third one is the nation building, is having, the Western kind of forces going in there for the next 5 or 10 years. And we've done that before. It has not been effective neither in Iraq or in Pakistan. So what is our responsibility to
Yeah, that's my
to the
question.
Americans. Yeah. So the question is, I don't think that is really on the agenda. When we say we.
No, I'm asking you, like a personal point of view.
No, right. I don't know if the U.S. has. Let me think about this. I think by doing what's being done right now, this is the best we can do to provide a window, an opportunity, although a difficult one, for the Iranian people to continue what they need to do to remove this regime. I don't think beyond that, what we can do once the new regime is in place, we can help them.
That's why I'm asking for the details, because I hear this all the time from a lot of people, like, what does that look like, Because Trump said in his speech there, that's his goal, to basically change the regime. And that to me looks like years of different nations in there rebuilding and troops on the ground,
And you would have to have troops on the ground to do it.
You have to have.
Oh, yeah. That's a massive factor.
I think Patty was saying something, so
there's no question. You have to have troops on the ground for regime change.
Facts. Then we tried that in in the 50s. I don't remember the exact, but in the 50s we tried it, and it was successful temporarily, right? Because the prime minister was removed. We backed the Soviet off a little bit. We were able to put assets in, buy more oil. Here we go with oil, right? But long term, after around somewhere mid-1970s, late 1970s, to fucking right now, there've been that fucking problem. Right after that, the prime minister was overthrown. We had hundreds of diplomats were snatched up, right? They were kidnapped and held for ransom for a long time at that. I think it was over a year they were held, right? We've already seen the impact that we can have, right? It's kind of like the terrorists. We tried with the terrorists, when I say we, it's Trump first term. People forget that he tried with the terrorists the first term. King failed and came back and did the exact same shit. Now this has more time, a longer time, the same thing. We've tried to do it without putting boots on the ground. You have to have boots on the ground to stabilize everything, right? You can't just expect the citizens to take over and do a military job and overthrow the government. That's not going to happen. We'll get them murdered by the fucking thousands.
They don't have guns.
Gemini, there's a difference here that I think is not being taken into consideration. The Iranian government is the most hated regime in turn domestically compared to any other country.
Where are you basing this on? Your knowledge of world history?
You can Google it. You can Google it.
It's true. So I can Google it.
You know what? Be the second pork chop you'll be eating, Mama Dude. So let me finish this. Thank you. Let me finish. So I think that creates a little bit of a difference, Gemini, is that you have a motivated list that have a deep-seated, harbored hate for their government, and such that this is not the first time that they've went to the streets knowing full well that some amount of them will end up dying, and that's not enough to stop them from going to the streets. I think that has to be taken into consideration. I think it is very likely that with the American military behind efforts on the ground by the citizens of Iran to overtake and overthrow their government, I think the likelihood increases because of those factors.
But just because they hate their government doesn't mean they don't hate us. So that doesn't make sense.
I mean,
people literally hate their government more than they hate America. This is
my whole point is, I have a problem with giving people false hope. Like from a moral point of view, I have a real problem with giving people false hope. I know that TC, this is where I completely agree with you. The vast majority, like I used to live in Vancouver, there's got to be 200,000 Persians there. Every single one of them hates their government. It's got to be 1 million Persians in Toronto. Every single one of them. Every time I've ever talked to any Persian, except for on this app, people that probably actually work for the IRGC or something like, whatever. But they all hate their government, and I just hate to give them so much false hope. And as bad as it sounds, like, I don't know, I don't want to sacrifice people's lives, but like the war is taking place in their country. It just seems morally wrong to give them false hope and then let them to start to fight against the government and then leave them abandoned and let them get massacred.
somebody wanted to go ahead, they can go ahead. I wanted to respond.
Can I?
Sure, go ahead.
So, hi everyone. Just wanted to a few things here. I've been listening, and I think there are a lot of good points moving around. And I lived 26 years in Iran and moved to US, and I've been living here for another 12 years. So 1/3 of my life here, 2/3 of my life in Iran. And I just want to mention, yes, the government is hated. About like 80% of the people, even the people who are religious, not all of them, they hate this government, and they actually blame, the government that people start like not being religious in Iran. So that part is true. Another part that I don't hear anyone talks about, which I think will add more nuance why this investment is being made, because I do agree, Trump or whoever is making this decision, they're not going in for helping Iran or Iranian people. I mean, it doesn't make sense. Why would any country wants to have their dead for other people? It doesn't make sense. But what's not mentioned here is in that region, the whole region, except for Israel, the whole Middle East region, the people of Iran are the single country that the majority of the people are pro-West, pro-US.
That's right.
Israel. And that's the part that is, I don't hear that talk about. So when you look at
Well,
that,
I did just say it.
when you look at that, and when you look at the fact that, this is just like an interesting era with China and Russia, and, that's an investment for the US in that region for a country whose people are a natural ally to the US. So that's all I wanted to say. I think that brings some nuance to this discussion.
That's so important. Like the Persian people, every Persian, tell me this is not true, Roy, but they're not religious, generally speaking. Like the Persian people, their history is 5,000 years old. A lot of them view Islam as like an invading ideology into their country. They don't view themselves as natural Islamic people. Like Arabs, their culture begins with Islam. Right? Well, the Persians, they view it as like a recent new introduction to their culture.
I can add more nuance. My family is religious, right? So I'm from Iran. My family is religious, and this is one of the most interesting 36 hours of my life, because I grew up. I mean, have you guys watched Jojo Rabbit? I mean, it's kind of about me. I grew up like wanting to see the sky. I grew up like writing poems for the sky. And now I see him, dead, and I'm happy, and at the same time, this like emotional turmoil is going on inside me. And my parents still, are unhappy. They're like, I mean, I haven't had a chance to speak with them, but like, they see him as still their leader or whatever. But what I'm going to tell you is there is a sizable, I don't know the percentage, it's not beyond 50%, it's not below 20%. Sizable population.
Is it the younger people versus the a little bit older people?
It's probably urban versus rural.
None of those really. I mean, I don't think it's like that in the U.S. So it's there. We don't know, but there is a sizable religious people in Iran, and part of that it took place. It goes back to the grandfather of Reza Pahlavi, who kind of tried to force Islam out of Iran, and it kind of backfired. And there's like a huge, not right now, but like there is a sizable populace in Iran who are Muslims. And if I look at that, I would say, I don't know exact data. I would say 50% of them are with Iranian people against the regime, because they see this regime as kind of like enemy of Islam as well, and there is 50% of them that they're still with the government and they're still religious.
Roy,
Roy,
can I ask you a question real quick?
Go ahead.
So, and this is my understanding, and if I'm wrong, correct me, because I'm not completely solid on that, so that's what I'm asking. From what I understand, though, like they have already been when I say the Iran as a state government has been very suppressive of any protests, like way before this, right? that they would shoot them, execute them, mass imprisonment. Then after they imprison them, do public executions to try to suppress. They would take the internet away so they couldn't really work together, and that they have very strict firearm laws there as well, right?
Yes.
So if we have that, then how could the USA expect an already suppressed group to topple even a weakened state?
So
right?
I mean,
I don't see how that plays out.
I mean, I'm not an expert, but I have some theories, and I have been reading about this. Here's how it plays out. First of all, you have to pay attention that, once you see, so these people who actually perform these atrocities against Iranian people, these are people as well, right? The reason they're doing this, most of them, are not actually because, they love the regime. They're also poor, and they are also, if they don't do it, they might get killed themselves. And if they don't do it, they might not have income for their family, right? So when they look around, they see Khamenei is gone. They see the overwhelming force against this regime by the US, by other countries, and they see people cheering. They will mentally be challenged to continue. They will say, hey, things are changing. Let me jump on board. Let me lay down my arm. If you see, Trump says it.
No, I follow that aspect. They're going to be. They're going to.
So I mean, that's the hope.
But there's a
so that's the
feelings.
The hope. So that's what's good.
But Roy, what I'm trying to say is this.
Let me finish.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
So that's what's theory here. I think everyone's theory here is like they're going to be overwhelmed and they want to kind of jump on board, and people will come to street, and there is common messaging from Trump, Reza Pahlavi, and also Bibi Netanyahu, and that is the plan. Without any boots on the ground, to be able to have a new government in Iran. So that's the plan. I
understand that they're going to be. I understand they're going to be influenced, and I want to be optimistic about it, right? I'm a realist at heart, right? That's just how I'm designed. So with that being said, optimistically, everybody, the Americans are helping us. This is our time. We take up arms, we go against the state, we overthrow, right? But if you're poorly armed, poorly trained, already suppressed, facing someone that is used to being your oppressor, this is their role and has been for a long time, it's going to take more than hope and some hopeful words from our president for them to actually to have the capacity is one thing. To have the want is another, right? I see the want, but I don't see the capacity.
Well, I mean, you have to take into consideration two things. Like the population is huge, right? The comparison is as far as the number. And second, you have to also look at the mental pressure on the other side. I mean, those people are poor who actually do this. I mean, these are poor people who do not have any other choice. Hear them being executed. If they see a chance to be okay, you see Trump keep saying you have immunity because they're poor. Most of these people who are actually doing this, they are not because, oh my God, I love Islam or I love this regime. They have no other choice. This is a fucked up situation that has created this situation. If you ask me, those people who are actually shooting Iranian, those are some type of victims as well. Not to the same level that those young people who were massacred, but still, those are also victims of this situation, and they will put down their arms. So you have to pay attention to everything. So they make the majority or the overwhelming number of people on one side, and the other side, psychologically, and the fact that they are going to see, and a lot of them are going to switch sides. So that's the theory. Sure.
So Roy, thank you for that. Let me just make a couple of scenarios in here. What you just said, you made actually 3 points. The very first one, it is highly possible that individual could be a Muslim, a good Muslim, or a Muslim, but not necessarily be supportive of the government. I mean, they're not mutually exclusive. There could be separate things. So it's the population of Iran, I think about 95% or more are Shia Muslims. And the religion being there for a long, long time, 1400 years, and so it's deeply rooted in the in the culture and the spiritual kind of way of life in Iran. I think you mentioned about your parents as well too. So it is possible that the religious people, whether culturally religious or seriously religious, they keep their religion but not be supportive of the government. I think that's people do often kind of miss. People often mix this thing, and that's good to separate that. And number two, yes, it is possible that, and it happened before actually, that the soldiers actually shooting at the people. And I'm putting aside IRGC aside for a moment. These are elite fighters being well paid, well trained, and they're fully committed to support, protect the government, Islamic Republic of Iran. So they're not going to be the one actually putting their weapons down. But certainly the rest of them, about maybe 1 million people in some form of a kind of function, the police, and they could possibly put their arms down and say, look, we're not going to shoot our own people. And now we understand the tides are changing and our sustenance, it may not come from the government, so there is a hope to join the people and of their armed way. But I'm just right. I just don't know how this is going to unfold. The other scenario I mentioned, let me just around here. There is a possibility that maybe one or two, perhaps one very strong military man who may be more liberal, not having a serious religious tendencies, and also being extremely ambitious to have a coup d'etat in Iran and taking over the government and becoming the leader. That's probably not a bad outcome, except majority of these types of coup d'etats and generals coming on board, they are very hesitant at times. They just don't leave. They stay on for decades. So that would be another possibility that could happen. So it doesn't have to be black and white in terms of boots on the ground or not. It could be other scenarios that possibly may unfold, and we may be surprised.
Yeah.
So let's say there's let's say there's a military coup in Iran, right? Why would that not devolve? Because Iran's a really big country. It's got a lot of fucking people. There are a lot of factions. Even the CIA talks about intel. There are a lot of factions that want to take over Iran if the Ayatollah falls. Why do we think that this military coup would be effective at bringing stability?
No, I didn't say that. I just said as one possibility it could be a coup d'etat.
Yeah.
And I'm not quite sure. And we know that, let me land in here. I'm really interested in that. Let me just land in here. That when we have these types of situations, not all the time, but mostly, the generals come on board, take the leadership, and they won't go away. We've seen it happen in particularly Middle Eastern countries. So that's an outcome and brings some stability, actually. But anyway, Roy.
Thank you. I think when I'm looking at this scene, I have my hope for one scenario, but when we want to kind of see what's going to happen, we can look at the outcomes and see who have the agencies here. The four players here are U.S., Israel, people of Iran, and this regime. I don't see any other player. Even China and Russia have backed down. It used to be different, in the last few times that they were uprising, they were more involved. So these are only four agencies. And when you look at messaging from US and Israel, they're trying to increase the agency of Iranian people. So that's the messaging that is coming, and the agency of Iranian people started to take place. It's very important, the fact that is common ground as far as what Iranian people want. What Iranian people want is a transition government, shown by what they chant in Iran and Iran. They want this guy, Reza Pahlavi, who is the son of the last king, to do the transition power. And if you listen to everything this guy says, there is no, as far as what he presents, as far as a legit transition government. So he's saying all the right things. He's doing all the right things. His messaging is very consistent, right? So when you look at these agencies and you see the other two power, which is Israel and the US, are trying to give agency to Iranian people, you see that's where everyone is planning to go. Iranian people want it, US wants it, Israel wants it. This is at least what the messaging is. So that's the goal. But there are other possibilities. One possibility is that this regime will be able to, sustain against U.S. power and also Iranian people and take control, which I think is very unlikely because I know the military power in the U.S. and military power in Iran, they're just not comparable. And another scenario is what you're saying, Ali, which is about, kind of this regime kind of like forced into changing itself enough so it will be able to create the possibilities that Iranian people, Israel, and the U.S. will accept it. So U.S. or Trump might be able to